Well, I mean, technically we're early, right? Ah. Oh, let me just check my sound balance. Oh, it's perfect, I think. How is it? Oh yeah, watching at full res. Hopefully my end holds up, holding up my end of the bargain / my decent internet. It's turned time. It is time. It's 5:30 p.m. on the 6th of August 2021's. Oh, and Blobby Tables. I've sent you a PDF. I can't remember whether I've pinned it. I can't remember where I've added you, but go to the Discord chat and there's a PDF to update the map. We have things to do, and I'm not going to dither around. I'm just going to get stuck in. I'm going to make my face appear by pressing this button here. Hi. Once again, I have the diminishing supply, possibly the last glass of I've recovered, by the way, from my jab number 2. It wiped me out yesterday. Last potential glug of Dina's cordial. Oh, we're in 1934, Daniel. You haven't watched for ages. Yes. Oh, so let me go for pressing this button because we've got data to look through. We need to complete our audit of stations, and that's one of the first things we're going to do, but it's not the first thing because we have. Yes, that's a good point, Joseph June. I always put the year now in the description, so I always put the starting year of the stream in the description. And then I go back and I update it so that theoretically by the time it gets to the end, and I every now and then I'll change episode names and thumbs as well just to make it kind of tie in a bit better. Quite often when I'm coming into an episode I have no idea what I'm going to do, and then I'll rename it. I'll rename it afterwards once we've done the stuff, so that people coming back to it know a bit, can find it a bit more accessible to navigate. So, yeah, so that's that. Yes, thank you for asking and reminding me to say those things. I'm not even going to go into the map because the map's still out of date and we kind of know the deal. And you can all go into the map yourselves. It's in the description if you want to kind of follow along. Just because the railway lines are out of date doesn't mean you don't know the geography of the situation and have a general idea of what's happening. So before we go through these remaining stations, and then we're going to look at the services as well after that. So we're going to go through all these services and check these passenger services here and check which ones are being used a lot and need expanding and which ones are not being used at all and potentially are going to get cut or modified. Not necessarily cut. Which ones are going to get sort of modified or altered or changes made. So let's, without further ado, go to Gameface and here we are in, where are we? We're in well, it's May 1934. I've got my list, more kind of critically, I have my list of things that I need to keep an eye on here. There it is. Hopefully that's blurred enough that, and I'm tiny enough that you can't read that. Yeah, sorry, I'm just off the Southwestern Joint Railway here. Let's press play. Let's press play, go over here and see what's going on. So we're going to continue. Here we are, going through Nottingley, flying along the Southern Main Line here. There's Dawlish Junction, through Gisborough. There we are, and you can see some of the stuff we've been up to. So, I think I re-signaled all of this. So we have here 4 tracking the Southern Main Line, and you can see what we've been up to. So this whole area around Oldwood Junction has been, the remodeling's been done. So, I did it off stream because it was going to be too time consuming, too fiddly, and we would have lost it. If I explain it to you in reasonable detail, so I'll pause while I explain it, shall I, first? So, this side, fairly straightforward. You can see if I press this and then do this over here and then just miniaturize this. Let's just click railway lines only, minimize that, and then make sure it's pinned, and just kind of pop it like there. Yeah. So you can sort of see what I've done here. We've got if you remember these red lines are the expresses, and the pink lines are kind of the stoppers and the suburban services. So we've split the station up now. Rather than it being all tracks to all lines, it's actually now split in two. Coming out of Oldwood Junction, you can see, if you remember the layout from Oldwood Junction, we have fast, fast, slow, slow, goods, goods. Currently, no stopping services are using the goods platforms, but they potentially could if there's if it's getting congested. We'll keep an eye on it. And then in terms of the southern services, we've got the BS and WR platforms. We've got slow, fast, fast, slow, which matches. So there's no need for any kind of complex remodeling over there. And you can see that the goods come up. So the brownie color there, the goods peel off. Whiz down through under this kind of freight avoiding line, and then they join up but with the old R&BR lines that kind of the remaining lines. This whole area has been substantial earthworks and reconstruction to get this all to work. So that's this end, so you can see what's happened. So we've got the two fasts basically stay as such, so we've got extra signal blocks essentially, which means we can fit more trains in, and they can run essentially right up to the you get trains much closer to the station before they have to split off, which means you can store more trains in the station and get more trains moving, which is good. So that's increased the capacity that end. So you can see that's the layout there. And actually, if I just click here, this is one service per platform. So we're not doubling any up, and you can see that basically if you remember these extra platforms here, this extension of the station was built to accommodate the Southern Railway originally. I mean, it had an arrangement, kind of a running agreement. They had running rights on the Great Northern, and they ran into these platforms. But now, basically, those platforms are obsolete at this point. But in any case, that there might be service expansions, so the GNR doesn't mind too much. They've got some redundancy if they need to expand, so they're quite happy with that. As for the other end, so we can see what we've done on the southern at this end. So we stay south of Oldwood Junction. We've got 4-track railway right the way through here until we get here where property limitations meant they have to 3-track it. So you've got 3-tracking here, which is clearly a bottleneck. The way they could resolve that is by aligning the railway out, I suppose. That's one way they could resolve that, but they haven't. So you could maybe make that the third. So there's a possibility they could do that to get 4 tracks in, but at the moment they've got 3 tracks. So you can see nothing really is using this. This track's been disused for a long time, and it's becoming somewhat overgrown, with nothing kind of using it for years, no maintenance. It's a bit of an overgrown railway now. Anyway, so let's look at the other end, shall we? If you've got something specific to shout at me, by the way, remember to @me in so I can see my name appear in red in the chat, and it allows me to spot that you have things to point out at me. You can all see the screen, can't you? Yeah, lovely. So the other end, fairly straightforward on the southern lines. They just continue, and we 4-track the whole way, so they just peel off this way, and it continues 4-track all the way in. Now, really, it required some modification of this junction down here to allow a connection to this is the Kingston bound, so coming off the southern, and you've got the stopping services that go to Kingston. I'm sure there's an express that goes this way as well. Yeah. Presumably that isn't it, because that's an express service that appears to be very much going the wrong way. Shildon to Southport. Kind of looks like it's going the wrong way in a big way, doesn't it? You know what? Let's... yeah. And let's sell this one, because that's doomed to just cause chaos. So all manner of trains going in all manner of directions. Anyway, so that's the southern. In terms of the Great Northern, this is where the fiddly bit happens, and I'll turn the lines off again on the way back to show you this, but I'll show you it with the lines on for now, so it's a bit clearer. So you can see fast services run through. This old viaduct that used to be here has been demolished and infilled. Highways England, infilled there, and a new viaduct built there for the express services, and then it's tied into the old viaduct. There we are, tied in nicely, coming into Richmond. This was very tight, so this is why I did this off stream, because it took ages to get it to just the gradients and everything to work properly. In terms of the slow lines, coming out of Oldwood Station, Oldwood Junction, sorry, you've got very quickly emerging of the goods and the slows, which is fine. And then the kind of the down, if you like, the tracks going away from Bradshaw, those drop down and away. You can see here they drop down and away, and go through this dive under here, and and then they connect up to reorder them. So you've got, rather than having fast, fast, slow, slow, you've now got slow, fast, fast, slow. And it means you've got a deconfliction there of that, of the kind of the trains passing. And there you go. That's that really. So, and there's a little bit of a climb. I think there's an ever so slight climb to get there. It's not much actually. Oh, maybe there isn't at all actually. I thought I'd made the. I think there is a slight. Oh no, there isn't. There really isn't, is there? I thought I'd made the fasts climb a little, but I haven't. In any case, what this has resulted in is the old R and BR line has been entirely. You can see the very old route there, and then the old line now has been entirely severed. So that means that the freight coming out of Midland Brickmakers, they need a new crossover here to allow the freights to run this way, and then out along here, and then this way. The old Richmond to Gisborough line, I think. I can't exactly remember what that line's called. It's on the map anyway. And then there you go. So it whizzes off. So that connects there, and then it comes through. So that's now the route for the Richmond. So they're probably not too, as a freight service, they're not too happy because they've now been direct. They've lost their direct connection into Bradshaw, and they've now got it. They've extended their route by quite some substantial miles. So Richmond Brickmakers aren't too happy about that. But the BS and WR who run that service were happy for to make that concession to allow them to get this expanded service, this expanded station. Anyway, so that is Oldwood Junction. We've not done anything more at Lowestoft. We've left Lowestoft in its kind of half-built state, if you remember. Right, let's close that off, and you can just have a last look at it in its sort of completed state. There we go. You can see some trains running through. There we are. There's an express and a stopping service. What is that? Yeah, that's the suburban service running through. So you can now see. There we go. Yeah, this is kind of like what you get coming out of King's Cross. You've got this situation coming out of King's Cross where you've got this rearrangement of the different lines. There it is. Very nice. I think someone said, yes, a bit Holloway-ish. It's Holloway flyover, but a dive under. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so there we go. So that's all that happening. It's a busy station. I think if I go in here, this is actually the old tram stop statistics, because if you remember, I smashed my head on the microphone when we realised that this bit of station, this proper station stats for the actual Oldwood Junction got lost because it was just a nightmare. If you've watched that stream, you'll know how much pain I experienced as a stats person. But I think this will quickly recover, and we've got the stats kind of written down in our data sheet anyway. So that's all happening. So that's all moving. So before we go back to the stats, I'm just going to say a couple of things that are happening in 1934, because it's worth kind of being aware of some of the things that are going on. So, let's whiz up to Lowestoft, because the next thing we're going to do is in. Oh, this looks like is this a level crossing fail? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, look, level crossing. The train is parked there, causing nightmares for people. Yeah, crikey. I mean, I kind of feel like that. Kind of feel like we can. What is this? July? Yeah, we can fix that. Let's sort this problem out with a bit of a re-signalling. Let's just fix the financial situation as well while I'm at it. There. So let's have that there and this. Oh. And this here. This is more like what we need for this bit. Yeah, lovely. Really weird old sort of setup for. Yeah, that's now going to move a little bit. Yeah, that'll help. Ha. Anyway, is Lowestoft going to be finished off? The having spent a lot more than they planned at Oldwood Junction. No, the Lowestoft. This stuff near Lowestoft, this area, this bit, which is now a bit of a mess, as a flat junction, is being left as it is. They're not going to touch it. It's not so bad in terms of conflict. It kind of seems to work. When I've run this ahead a bit to just see how these new alignments work, it actually seems to work okay. So, so while I've got this paused. Let's have a look. What am I going to do? So, I've got to have a think about what what I'm going to do here. Yeah, so if I go around here and then along here, yeah, I think that might be. That might be. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted because it's 1934, and what happened in 1934 was that there was the 1934 Road Traffic Act, which essentially introduced road licensing, and it introduced vehicle excise duty, which allowed a much larger pot of funding for roads. At this time, roads were entirely administered by like the county councils and by local authorities. So on our little island, the city regions or the local authorities of the various sort of regions that do exist that I've not really told you about on this island, they were the ones administering kind of funding road expansion, and road expansion happened a lot through the 1920s. Particularly, there was a lot during the Depression. There was a lot of money made for roads. So if you remember in 1925, we had this surge of road construction that then kind of continued through the 20s. Well, that was off the back of all of this sort of Depression kind of funding and sort of major bonds funding. So I just have to decide. I'm kind of looking while I'm up here. I'm just looking at where something might happen in 1934. I'm just paying some attention as to what we might see happening in 1934. Anyway, we'll come back to that. That's going to happen before to end of. Actually, you know what? Let's do it now. So we're going to see how this looks, actually. I'm interested to see how this looks. So if we have that road continuing like that. Yeah, let's see how this works. So I'm interested to know. There we are. Oh, this needs to be the other end anyway, doesn't it? Yeah, lovely. Oh, I need to continue. I'll come back and fix all that. So what are we up to? Well, we're building. So this fund meant that there were some of the big kind of regional authorities did start investing in expanded roads. I'm going to have to do this sort of thing here, there, no, and there we go. There we are, and come on. There, and also, and right, and let's also just do something like this. There we are. You can do these things if you get close and personal with it. There we are, I think. There. There we are. It's kind of like a strangely elevated bit of road, this, isn't it? What's it doing? It's a little bit weird. There we are. Oh. You didn't come on this stream for road construction, did you? You probably did. Let's face it. This is the first thing we're... This is our first proper highway being built. It's probably a bit of a... Let's do... there, and then... Yeah, that'll do. We'll have to work out making sure this goes the right way momentarily. That can probably get tidied up a bit as well, can't it? Possibly. I mean, I just spent a lot of time building that, but... Let's do that. Yeah. There. Oh. There we go. And Oh, while we're here, let me just make sure this is going the right way. Yeah, and yeah. Now, I'm kind of curious to know how the game deals with connecting these sorts of things up, because this, how good is it? So if I do this, is it gonna cope with this? Oh, that kind of works. Okay, that's not beautiful, but for 1930s it'll do. Look at this! It's our first dual carriageway our first like big dual carriageway on the map. We do have the first dual carriageway we ever built was, I think, the first bit was kind of this section here. But we're doing something we're stepping it up a bit with what we've got here, which is our first interurban highway. And actually, there were interurbans being built around this period. In fact, the first interurban was actually it's between Liverpool and Manchester. I think the first interurban road, the really big interurban road like this was. So we're going to bulldoze. Let's see, we're going to bulldoze this, and actually we can probably leave that there if I'm clever. Can I be clever? Let's find out, shall we? The answer is usually no. So if I do that, if I now do... oh god, that's horrifying. That's absolutely horrifying. I presume that bizarre behaviour is... Oh. If I do this... and that. There we are. Yes, there we go. And then... Now. It's a hell of a hump, but it might do the job. Or it might not. Possibly if I can keep this more like this side. It'd be nice if it did. Yeah, there we go. Maybe straight is what I want. Maybe I do want a straight line. It's the 1930s, so, you know, highways look less... Well, less. I'm going to go with that. That's my excuse. I'm also going to get rid of this bit and go for... And now that should... Oh, of course I've put that all in... It's fine. Now, what am I going to do with this? This needs a bridge, let's face it. We can't have that continue to be a level crossing. So we'll put the bridge in. Let's have a think. Or are we going to just... Could do what they did in a lot of cases, which is just do the hard bit. Yeah. There we are. I'm kind of at peace with that. Get rid of that bit. It's marvellously shonky. I'm at peace with it. Time to wave the upgrade wand, yeah. Here we go. This is indeed the first major road project. Do we want it? Maybe we do want it to kind of... Thing is, they're cheaping out on the old. They're kind of cheaping out on dealing with coming into the urban area and what they're going to do. So they're going to, you know what? We're going to do the bridge. That's fine. It's not a hugely onerous task. How are we going to do this though? Kind of come in across, like this. Like that, I guess. And there we go. That looks quite nice, even though those are magically floating in thin air. We won't worry about that too much. Let me bulldoze this. Bulldoze these 2 bits. And these. And I'll just sever this for now. Now, if I place this like this, yeah, very nice. Oh, dang. You see, I keep instinctively going to, yeah. Now, what am I going to do with this bit? Let's go with... I'm obviously being a lot less sort of pitch perfect with my highways design. There are things that I'll do to make, to make highways design look realistic as we go on. But to be honest, I don't know much about highways design from the 1930s other than a few pictures of what highways look like. And they were more shonky. You can see lots of old 1930s highways around. Where's Jen on the move when you need her? Jen on the move. Let's do that. Yes. And do this. Yes. And just swap this to that. Yep, lovely. So then what are we going to do at this end? I think I know what we're going to do, actually. We're going to do this. There we go. Let's go with you doing kind of this. And then more straight lines. That's one of the things, actually. This is a bit too weavy. Needs to be a bit more straight liney. That will do. We'll do that as a curve. And I think that looks quite good. Just let's just do something a bit more like this. Ooh. I don't know what exactly. Snap into being a kind of straight line. Okay, well, snap to that. There we are. That I'm at peace with. And then what I'm going to do is do this. This is the sort of thing we did see a lot of. Oh. Maybe not possible. Not wide enough apart. Okay, well, I'll bulldoze this one. Fine. There. How's everyone doing? Is everyone bored yet? There we go. I don't know, I've never tried roundabouts in this. Squicklehausen, catching up from the beginning, didn't think these used to start 30 minutes. Yeah, these, love the overgrown line, yeah. These are, you know, it's chaos. I generally start from a 5:30 on a, it used to be that there was 6 on a Monday and 5:30 on a Friday for hashtag reasons. But I don't really have any good justification for this, other than just sort of I do them when 5:30 on Fridays is the kind of the new normal-ish slot, I think. There we go. So that's kind of that. But I'm gonna just again, Besquickle House. I'm glad you've joined because I am taking a leaf out of your book on this one because I want to grab some tarmac and let's go with half this and then 18. Let's see. Oh, I'm not sure that's the right one. How's that? Not even sure that's the right one. Anyway, the old road there. For all of your delectable enjoyment. What is that underneath? What is that texture? I can't quite... I wish there was a picker. A picker would be good. Then I could... Is it this one? Oh yeah, that's kind of it, isn't it? Yeah. Thing is, it doesn't actually look good at all. It's sort of... Anyway, whatever. There, we've got that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back to my touch of asphalt and just do a bit of... There. Marvellous. So there's the road. There's the new road. It's our new interurban road. Look at that. Massive. And will it continue on its way to Raleigh? I'm sure that's the plan. Where is it actually going from here? It's kind of... I mean, there's rail. It kind of goes into Chesterfield. They're not bothering to do anything about going through Chesterfield. But that's the first. That's it. We've built our first bit. That's going to be our first bit. It's just a connection between Dorchester and Chesterfield. But ultimately, it's kind of the connection of the main road between Lowestoft and Raleigh. There we go. So that's the first thing we've done. So that was as a result, as you say, that's the Road Traffic Act, and we've already had that kind of. If you talked about and kind of had that depression investment of roads, you saw how many roads expanded, 10 years ago in the stream. Let's start moving time again while all this fun's happening. And I'm curious how fast. I'd be interested to see if the roads start. Oh, I tell you what I need to do. Didn't actually finish because this jazz here. So this, interestingly, this sort of connected up here, so maybe that is gonna... you know what? I just built all that, but I'm bulldozing it because, let's face it, this road is going to go under here. So let's do that. Under there, and then also this is going to get... There we are. Let's just do that as... Yeah, fine. Yeah, grand. Oh, it's a nice jazz. Lovely. Let's... No, if I do this... Oh. I'll tell you what, if I demolish that, I'll be doomed. It'll not let me build it again, will it? So what I want to do is this, and then do this. Yeah. Lovely. Now, can I get it to no? Just... Okay, do that. Fine. Fine. Now, if I then do this... Construction not possible. Of course construction is not possible. That's the situation. Now, why? It's because of that tiny bit, isn't it? Yeah, we won't have any of it. Let me try... There. What I can do is maybe do a little bit of humpy to minimise the cut. Just a bit. Yeah, like that's pointless. That's basically fine. Maybe a little bit less. I'm pressing M, by the way. That'll do, and So now I need to press this and do this as a straight line to, you know. Oh, there. Yep, lovely. Try and make that 90 degrees for reasons. And I'm gonna make that this way again. I'll have to flip that over, I know. And then hopefully then from here to here, again, earthwork, there we go. So if I now go Shift and N, bring it down to sort of match the level of that one. There we go. I need to then delete this and make sure that these are all the right way around. So that's coming this way, that needs to be going that way. That needs to go that way. That's coming that way. That's going... That all looks fixed, yes. There. Okay. I think that's that. I mean, that doesn't actually connect there, does it? So that's... All that's doing is providing the connection that way. And then that's providing the connection that way. Okay, fine. That's I'm okay with that. It's not a motorway, so there's not going to be a grade separated junction. It's just got a nice flat junction up there. But what I'm going to do is get our terrain tools up and now just do some of this. Just smooth these out. There we are. Same on the other side. To make our earthworks look a bit more realistic. They wouldn't have this weird sort of blippy lump in the middle. There we go. Lovely. Oop. There we are. There. All that effort for just this poxy bit of... This is what the A1 looks like south of... which bit particularly is it bad of? Oof. South of Doncaster, bit. South where the A1M becomes the A1 again. Actually, it's pretty bad south of it's pretty bad south of Ferrybridge, but the old bits of dual carriageway at A1 kind of look like this, where they basically stuck another lane next to the Great North Road, and it kind of ended up looking like this. So that's kind of the era that we're looking at. Anywho, that I think is fine. There we go. Exciting. Now, how's that going to change things? Not very much by the look of it. Oh, let's get OBS up again because we need to go and have a look at this. So we're going to look at these stations here. In fact, all these grey ones, these greyed out ones, are ones we've already looked at. So I can probably let's just no, actually, I don't want to. If I get all these ones that I want to look at, yep, you and you and you, and I'm going to make you one colour so that I can come back and yep. Yeah, you, and also you lot. You and not the green one. If you remember, I had about 20 different shades of blue last time. Well, we're gonna make all of you this cut, the nice yellow, and then we'll filter for just yellows. There we go. That's all the stations we're going to look at now. I don't think we've missed any. Here we are. So we're going to look at Abbeydale Park, Ashbourne Pier, Ashbourne Town. So both the Ashbourne stations, Bodmin, Bradshaw Metropolitan, actually, Cockfosters, Corby, Dorchester Town, Droitwich Victoria, and so on down to the three Wooler stations actually. These are the stations we're going to go through. We're going to go through those now. We're going to do that now. So I've got those up screen. You can see some of the things we're looking at for these stations. You can do a screenshot or have this to go back to or whatever. I've got this on screen now. But we're just looking at things like their utilisation. Most of these are actually not bad in terms of utilisation. Pretty well balanced, actually. I think we looked at the most extreme cases. I think we looked at the most extreme cases of all of the things that we were looking at 2 episodes ago. In the first of the stations, services and statistics episodes. We'll look at how many passengers they've got. So a lot of these are really empty in terms of annual usage. So we'll look at sort of understanding that and maybe fixing that, understanding what the problem is. And also, this was 5 years ago now almost. So it's a chance for us to understand how much things have changed since then. We've had several years pass. So yeah, we're going to look at all these stations. So you can flick through these. Most of these are BS and WR stations. Anyway, let's by the by. Let's start said audit. Let's get the game face back up. Where are we going to start? Have I been on the A1 just south of Peterborough? 1 minute to motorway, the next minute you're on some average little casual alignment houses. Yeah, big time. That's what the roads that were being built at that, like the Great North Road has lots of sections still that are old like that. It's like goes through little towns and stuff. It's horrendous. In fact, just south of Ferrybridge, there's a bit where it just goes, you've got like the A1 going through, and then there's just houses on a sort of little road, and you've got stuff pulling up. You've got a slip road that's like 80 metres long. Hopeless. Anyway. Abbeydale Park is where we're going first, so let's do just that. I've got to keep an eye on the time, actually, because in terms of the game time, not real time, make sure I don't lose at 1930. Well, we won't miss 1934, because there's no chance we can. Yes, so that's Liverpool. That's no use. Abbeydale Park. Here we are. Let's have a look at Abbeydale Park. How many people are using Abbeydale Park? So the issues at Abbeydale Park are... I can't remember what the issue... Well, it's quite cheap. So it's cheap. Its annual usage is quite low, I think. I think that's... Let's have a look. So... Well, it's not too bad. It's definitely climbing, isn't it? So... It's climbing. Utilization's good. It doesn't have many... you know what? That's fine. It looks fine. There's not much to say about Abbeydale Park, really, is it? It's fine. it's fine. It's working happily. There's a bit of crowding in there. 30 people waiting for the service coming through. Anyway. Hi, Ella. Interesting / mildly dangerous in a few places, the A1. Anyway, right. So that was Abbeydale Park. I don't really know what much there is to say about that, really. Let's go up to Ashbourne. There's Kingston, by the way. Kingston. That's the old Kingston station throat. Look at this chaos. Crikey. Oh, there's still Midland coaches. Crikey. Those are well long overdue a repaint. They cannot be in good condition, right? No, it's not in bad condition at all. Strange. Anyway. Station throat at Kingston somehow still functioning. Are there big numbers at Kingston? Oh no, it seems to be working all right. Anyway, right, where are we? Going up to Ashbourne. Let's have a look at these two stations. This is Ashbourne Ferry. Is Ashbourne Ferry... is anyone using it? They're not really, are they? What? So there's Ashbourne Ferry there. Is, you know, the Ashbourne Ferry branch, is there any, you know, in terms of serving the side of the town, it's not really serving much of the town. This is serving much more. How many people are actually using the ferry as well? It's gently diminishing, and it looks to be diminishing further. How many services are using this line? So if I do this now and then put this and this, just 2 services, a local and a stopping service. So what would happen if... Let's go into... well, first of all, let's have a look compared to... See, the numbers are not quite as bad at Ashbourne Town. You've got, you know, you've got 90 people kind of coming in and out, whereas here you've got half that. You've got half that. You know what I think is going to happen here? I think they're going to... I've got a sneaking suspicion the railway company is going to do a thing. There's not a station... No, there's no shed. I think we're going to see... Oh yeah, let's just... let's see here. Do that and then do this, because it's only they're going to extend this station in the other direction, and with some platforms 2 buildings will be removed. Yes, they will. Sad. Yep, there. Where's the oh yeah, there are. Yeah, that'll do. And yeah, so we've extended that. I'm just going to stick this nice bit of track in there. No catenary. Nice. Now, do I have... No, it's too tight for it. That's fine. What I do need to do is... that's not a double slip. just have a look at the services now. Yeah, so we've got the local Ashbourne first, so that's going to Ashbourne Pier. So I'll just get rid of that. We don't need Ashbourne Town there. Ashbourne Town to Ashbourne Central. This needs to have this, if this is a double slip. Actually, you know what? We're going to do a bit of a track remodeling here. So we're going to single lead this. Let's get rid of the signals that are here, just to. Yeah, there we are. Oh. Ballast and 14. Let me just make sure all my track beds are appropriately ballasted. You know the deal. Oh, daisy. Yeah. Let's see. So that's there. Let's get the single lead. So it's all. I'm already feeling like I'm being boring. Let's get let's. That move. So we're going to go for straight off the bat. We're going to get. Oh, actually, let's get a signal in here first. Okay, good, and fine. 25 mile an hour turnout, and then another 25 mile an hour turnout. There we go, and then run that along there, and then another 25 mile an hour turnout there, and Bob's your uncle. And all I need to do now is just signalify that. Fairly straightforward. Oh, and I do want to have, just in case, another crossover here. Yeah, lovely. So signal protect that, and signal protect that. And that's that, really. Signal protect all that, and away we go. Happy days. So that now should look... Well, it's okay, it's mildly chaotic, I presume, because things are broken, possibly, still. That's allowed to go into there, that's... Oh, yeah, that should help. Oh, we'll have a think about this anyway. Right, okay, so... I need to terminate the other one too first, and then we can work things out. So the stopper is going to go, it's not going to Ashbourne Pier anymore, and it's not going to... There we go, that's doing that. Cracking stuff. So I want to have the local one in platform 2. I think that then will result in this sort of situation. There. Now, you might be going, oh, but, that's resulting in conflicting moves. Yeah, it is, isn't it? We could have, should we have another, we could just have another crossover, couldn't we? There's no harm in that. Just do that. Does that... No, it doesn't. But what I could do is add... What could I do to fix that? I can probably just add the old waypoint, couldn't I? There. There. Local. Ashbourne Town. Add. Oh, I didn't want that to be there, actually. I want it to be down here. I want it to be down... Oh, I could probably do that with a signal, couldn't I? Make it a one-way signal and then do that. Nah, because then it'll be sitting at the back. I'll do it with a waypoint. I'll do it with a waypoint. I'll be well behaved. Okay, fine, and there. All is well in the world. What was that? That's now set up like that. Lovely. And what are we gonna do with Ashbourne Pier? Well, we're not necessarily going to bin it off yet. We'll leave it there just in case, but we'll see what it does to demand in the station. They'll maybe reevaluate, they might reopen it again, but they're going to just run everything into Ashbourne Town now, because I think the bus services are pretty good. Let's just have a quick check. Yeah, the bus service in Ashbourne is not bad. So, anyway, right, enough of that. We've dithered in Ashbourne for ages. We're going to go to Bodmin now. Bodmin down here. How busy is Bodmin? Bodmin, are you busy? Interesting. What might be a good idea? There's Bodmin. Oh, crikey. Bodmin is... Cripes. I mean, wowza. Not quite sure what we can do with Bodmin. It's given how hemmed in it is. It could do with having two platforms for like the trains going in different directions, because that currently is a bit of a blocker on capacity. But let's have a look. How popular is Bodmin? And has it been climbing? Not much, really. Like, when did the when did that branch open? I don't know when it opened. It wasn't that long ago, and it doesn't seem to have made any change. I mean, it's busy enough. See Bodmin. So Bodmin is its utilization is fine. It just is quite quiet. It's quite cheap to run. It's fine. It's fine. It would benefit if they expanded this with an extra platform and an extra platform track. That might be quite good. But yeah, it's pretty stuck because it's stuck trapped in the middle. I don't know whether what you could do is bring it, is extend it in here or in a slightly different direction. Extend the track out, cause minimal destruction this way, and then build a new station here. That's quite a big investment. I don't think the GNE are going to be interested in that. So for now, Bodmin is going to stay pretty much exactly as it is. I mean, it had new platforms built. I presume those platforms were built when the new line was built, when they extended it. But anyway, there it is. Not exactly an ideal layout, but there we go. There we go. It's 1920. There we are. It's that largest city with a single track station. It's not really a city. Bodmin's still. I mean, it's getting bigger. It's getting quite a lot bigger. Yeah, it's got pretty decent passenger links. Anyway, there we are. I think the bus links are pretty good. That'll help. Anyway, the railway's still doing its thing. I don't know whether we want to have whether we want to actually build in a. Yeah, not sure. No, we'll leave it to it. We'll leave it to it for now. Also, these lines here, these lines have been disused for ages. They don't get used at all. I have a sneaking suspicion that these will. I mean, they don't. There are no services that use these old lines. They don't really serve any function. It's the old connection to Bodmin, but it's just not used. It's just not used at all. In fact, it's completely. The whole railway's a bit overgrown along here. Crikey, it needs some veg management to come along and sort this out. Cripes alive, what a mess. Anyway, disused railway track. Should we can it off? If I do this, there's absolutely no evidence that railway was ever there, which I'm not at peace with. So if I do this, I do need some kind of. So if I do this, 80, let's go 14 and 0.5. If I do this now. Now what happens if I do this? A little bit. Yeah, they're gonna leave that bit. Maybe leave sort of that bit. And then there we are. What's that? Oh, interesting. Yeah, suggestions to build a new Bodmin station here. Yeah. Yeah, that's not actually a bad idea, is it? Let's have a think. What would that do for this station? It's not an issue for now, but that's definitely a possibility, isn't it? I wonder if we can do anything to sort of fence that off. Not really. We're just going to hope that nothing grows in there for a while. Let me just go in here and do... a bit of this sort of thing. Yeah. I'm just going to do this, because it's quite often... just... do this, because it's not uncommon for bits of railway to be left at level crossings. No, but not quite like that. Let's just do the same again on the other side, to be honest. There. It wasn't uncommon for bits of railway to be left like that. There. Bit of a weird... I mean, I presumed I'd sort of done landscapey here, but it's kind of gone a bit weird. If I do this and then down to, what is it, 16 there. It's gone a bit weird. Don't quite know what it's... strange. Bit weird. Game, what are you doing? Oof, anyway. It's sort of seriously vaguely where the railway alignment was. No regrets. So that's been chopped. It's been chopped. What is it? September the 17th, 1934. Chop. Chop, chop. Gone. Fine. That's them severed. What am I doing next? While I'm here, actually, let's just have a look. This place is getting... Oh, it's getting... Numbers are building. What's the... Yeah, numbers are building pretty high in there, actually. But is this getting busier? Oh, it is. Yeah, look. It does appear to be getting busier. Well, that's a good sign. Well, in fact, while we're there, let's quickly look. What are the numbers? Ah, yeah, look. So this is... It's... the numbers appear to be... It's kind of catching up. That's reassuring. Now, this was actually another different service. That must be when... Yeah, the cost must have gone up when we changed it. So that gives us an idea of... What year was that? That was 1920, so that's when this line opened. And yeah, you can see the operating costs have gone up. But then the amount of money it's making is more, so it's nearly covering its costs. We're going to get to services, and we're going to try and make things cover their costs soon enough. Don't worry. It's interesting this line is still here. I guess it's because there's a hope that they, the potential for freight, for goods expansion, so they haven't wanted to close it off because they want to keep hold of the land. Whereas this doesn't seem to be gaining them anything, so just the GNER have kind of sold that off. It's gone. Oof, anyway, right, Branchville Metropolitan is the next station we're going to look at. Well, this station's surely doing fine. There's no issues with Branchville Metropolitan. There's no issues with utilisation. There's 6 services and 5 platforms. It's a little overutilised, but not a big deal. There's not much passenger waiting. It doesn't get a huge amount of annual usage, actually, though. Yeah, like 200, 300-ish. In fact, it's not particularly low drop, but it's not particularly increased either. That's interesting. But it's it's sort of an interchange for people wanting to go north. Yeah, I don't think there's much to change on it really. Fine. Cockfosters. We're off to Cockfosters. Cockfosters in northern Liverpool. There's a sentence that doesn't make any sense to anyone other than people familiar with the series. Oh yeah, that's not bad, is it? Steadily climbing since its construction. Looks like its construction was in 19... I presume that's just... No, it must have been. It was built around 1920, presumably. Anyway, just steadily climbing. Not bad. Don't really have much else to say on that. Quite a lot of people waiting to go towards Abbeydale Park, actually. Oh, people heading to Shildon. Ah, interesting. Lots of people heading to Shildon Metropolitan. You can see the breakdown of destinations there. Nice. That's kind of cool. Corby. Oh, right. Crikey. Corby next. We're doing this in alphabetical order for want of no other. Gives us a chance to whiz around a bit. Here's Corby. Corby's expanded a lot. In fact, you just saw a street get built there. Corby is expanding quite a bit. There's a train, just a local service by the look of it, sat waiting at a signal. Very nice. It's quite busy, that line, I think. If I click on here... Nope. If I click on here... Yeah, you can see it's quite busy for passengers, and... oh, there's no goods on it. Just passengers. Okay. Anyway, it's pretty busy, considering it's just a little branch line. And then, obviously, it connects to the... yeah, then it then bumps up and has this sort of connection that goes over... over here. This rock wouldn't have still be here, would they? They'd have got rid of that when they built the embankment. Anyway, there's trains running through here. What is that? Oh, it's the regional Flitwick to Kingston service. Flitwick to Kingston? Oh yeah, okay, fine. So there we go. Everyone's reckoning that Bodmin does need more platforms. Well, we'll maybe get there. Corby Station, I don't really know what there is that we can do about it. It's got this BSWR service that kind of crosses over here and parks up. It's quite a lot of stuff comes through here because all these pink stopping services come through. It is getting busier. You know, it's kind of steadily climbing in usage actually, which is surprising. So yeah, that's interesting. But it's still pretty modest. At least it has 160 metre long platforms, so it's got platforms that are long enough to cope with people coming through. Interesting, this hasn't been updated. This has got 80 metre platforms at Corby, even though they definitely have extended to 160 metres. What's this coming through? It's another regional service. Nice. Anyway, it's October 1934, November 1934 even. We're gonna pause briefly while I was up here. Dorchester Town. Dorchester Town. There's Wakefield, there's Lowestoft, there's Dorchester. Dorchester Town. Now, Dorchester Town is a weird station because they haven't extended it. It's got this disused terminal bit. How used does Dorchester get? I mean, it's kind of busy, but not nearly as busy as it used to be. It does kind of just slow things down a bit, and you know, there's the much more grand Dorchester Great Northern Station. I'm sure it'll stay open, but actually perhaps what we're going to do is... How many services stop at it? We've got the Bury to Raleigh stopper, Lowestoft to Southport stopper. Maybe we just get people to use the suburban service and get everything else to just fly through. Maybe that's one way to do it, to just sort of... Because it's quite short. Maybe what they're going to do is extend the platforms that way, and bulldoze this old platform behind, because there's just no need for it, is there? Maybe that's what they're going to do. Yeah. So we're gonna. What can we do to avoid too much in the way of demolitions? No, they're going to do it. How much is that going to? That's going to bulldoze 2. That's going to bulldoze 2. Let's go with one each side actually, because that 3, 1. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to bulldoze this. I'm going to put the 2 platforms going to be on a slight skew for reasons. How do they get across? Is there? Yeah, there is. Good. You can actually get across there. There we are. And what do I want to do? Maybe I'm going to just put a couple of those in there and put a road on the other side. I think that's all we really need over there, isn't it? 160 metre platforms, so we've extended it. Lots of people asking me if I think something will happen at some point. Those aren't questions to ask me, because firstly, I've no idea, and secondly, I ain't telling you until it comes up on stream. So, you know, these things are always possible, but people in the Discord and in the chat, there's no point asking me whether you think whether I think something's going to happen. Everything's possible, right? you have to guess and have a think and predict. I enjoy the predictions, but there's no point asking me what I think's going to happen. I'm making it up as I go along. So that is extended it that way. Let's just build a bit of. Let's just get a little narrow street built in here. There we are. There we are. Let's just. You know what? Let's just go in here again. Yeah. Just a little bit of road construction to see if it's not really anything. I was just wondering if I can get anything to come over there. Maybe I can fit a bridge in there actually. Maybe it's possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that. Yeah, okay. So then, if I do... Can I do... No, it's too much slope. That... Do I kind of want that to be a bigger road? No, let's go in that road and see what happens. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's go in that way. And then I'm going to just... Oh, can I do that a bit shorter? The reason I did that is for that reason. That's why I've done that like that. And then we can have a bit of... Oh. Lovely. Just for, you know, potential expansion. These sorts of things happen. Then we just need to do something like... yeah, that is going to be like that. Now, can I get this to... Now, can this work? Oh god, what is that? No, nothing like that, you horrid game. Now, if I do this... Oh jeez, what is it? What is this game's problem? That is clearly not what I want to happen. That's horrifying. No. How about... Also, let's just reset the elevation thing. Ugh. Maybe if I do this, and then do this, and then do maybe this. Yeah, like this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, do something like that, and then do maybe something like this. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, like that, and then get rid of that. There, that'll do. Thoughts on a postcard. Oh, we've got some of that fretless bass going on. There we are. So yeah, we've got a connection to the other side of Dorchester town, potentially making it a bit more useful again. But they were wanting to improve the through flow through here, so they're gonna make some of the services whiz through without stopping. So let's do that now, shall we? So this stops at Dorchester town. Not anymore, it doesn't. There we are, get rid of that and that, lovely. Low stuff to Southport, likewise. Not calling it Dorchester town anymore. What's the last one? It's just a suburban one, isn't it? So now if I go in here, it's just the suburban service now that's coming through, which kind of makes sense, right? So that means that presumably there's going to be a lot of people not using the station quite as much. But anyway, there we are. It's just going to be a suburban station, so it's just going to have the suburban services running through. I mean, part of me is thinking I could have pushed this. There's enough space possibly for a loop. I could have pushed it further the other side. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's a very old station, Dorchester Town. It's one of the. I mean, it's one of the old original. In fact, one of the ones that stayed mostly intact since the days of the Lowestoft Raleigh Railway. Everything else is closed. Everything else is gone. Dorchester Town Station is sort of still large. They've just bulldozed one of the buildings, but it's largely kind of intact from how it used to be. Those are the things that I care about. These little details. Get that up here. There, and also there. Just fix that. Marvelous. There, grand. It still does serve quite a lot of the centre of the station, so, and it weirdly does connect up with the other station as well. So the two stations do kind of link to each other. Anyway, I'm just gonna have a quick drink. That was Droitwich Town. Sorry, it was Dorchester Town. We're going to Droitwich, Victoria, which is miles away. I didn't forget anything up there, did I? I don't think I did. It's fine. Leighton, Droitwich, Victoria. So if you remember, oh, that's interesting. We've already had some construction on the former, some actual construction happening on the former alignment here. That's interesting. Just do a bit of that. There we go. So some construction building out on the old track bed. Here's Droitwich, Victoria. Anyway, what are the issues in Droitwich, Victoria? It is seems like it's quite an expensive station, but it's got services. It's got pretty busy services. That's fine. It's got multiple trains on some of the platforms, so it's quite heavily utilised. I think some of those expresses don't, there aren't that many trains on them, so it's okay. And usage, there's definitely an upward climb there. So Droitwich, Victoria. Bloody hell, good grief. That was loud. Looks alright. And it's quite, if you look at the services coming in and out, it's quite, it's fine. It's quite good. It's not too, it's a train doing its thing. Yeah, it's not too bad. Look at this. It's alright. It's all quite nicely segregated, everything running in and out. Happy days. It's fine. Lovely. Right, so that was Droitwich, Victoria. We're going to Ellesmere now. Right, we really are whizzing it to tour of the whole map. All these stations that we've... It's December 1934. I'm going to pause. I think I might pause for the rest now before I forget. Get lost. Right, Ellesmere. We're looking at Ellesmere. Here is Ellesmere. Ellesmere is this one. This is Ellesmere Station here. How busy is it? It appears to be getting quite a lot busier. This is midway through this year. Yeah, it looks like it's getting much busier to me. Are there lots of people waiting? There's a lot of people waiting to go to Liverpool. Let's have a look. See. Yeah. What about this one while I'm here? This is that new station. This is the South Ellesmere station. It was built with the suburban expansion. Oh. Yeah, this is funny because there's not a... So they're both using one platform because they've not got a scissors crossover. They've only got a single one. Yeah, it's fun. Lots of people aiming for Shildon. Interesting. So if I go to... Where are they all going for? They're all going for Shildon Metropolitan. Interesting. There you go. Maybe changing to get onto another service. Anyway, I was looking at the wrong Ellesmere because we've already looked at that South Ellesmere apparently. So anyway, there's Ellesmere. 80 metres long. Not much has changed since it was first built. It's sort of... How does it serve? It's kind of neatly serves... It's built where the centre of the town... It's built on the edge where the town was, I think. This is just a tiny little town, and then it's kind of expanded. A bit of ribbon development up this road. Up here, and then... Yeah, so it's kind of expanding that way. And then, likewise, this station then is serving more of the kind of the newer industrial and suburban sort of southern end of the village as well. Or a town now, really. Right, that was Ellesmere. I don't think there's much to report, really, on Ellesmere. Looks fine. We're off to Elliotsborough next. As I said, we're working our way through the alphabet. We're still in the E's. And we're an hour and 14 in. There's Elliotsborough. Right, how is Elliotsborough looking? Interesting. It's, I mean, the station serves a remarkably large amount of the town. Also, it's quite interesting. There's Elliottsborough's got this development going up the side, working its way up through the hill and kind of through this pass towards, what is this over here? Stevenage. What is this? This is called Greendale. Postman Pat fans. There we are. So let's have a look. There's quite a lot of people waiting for some of these services. Yeah, there's 48, 42. Those are quite large numbers of people waiting. A lot of trains using 1 and 2, and really not very many using 3 and 4. Is that something we can fix? I know it isn't, is it? Because everything's... It doesn't seem to be an issue, particularly. But it's just about everything, what happens at Bungay Junction, isn't it? Because there's not really a connection this way. So I suppose, it's dependent on... Yeah, it's a bit redundant, really, because it's got this suburban platforms here that are just not that well used. Did we actually look at Bungay Junction last time? We did, didn't we? Did we? We kind of said, oh, isn't it busy? And then that was kind of the end of that. I mean, it is definitely getting busier. Yeah, cripes. So... Yeah. But this is pretty evenly split over both platforms. So actually, could we... There do appear to be quite a lot of services that are mixing and matching between. Oh no, those are the expresses though. Ah, I see. Ah, yeah, so all the expresses are going through the suburban platforms actually, so that's kind of why that's the way it is. Okay, that makes some sense. That's kind of why that's doing that. Okay, fine. And then there's this freight platform here as well. That is still, if you look at the freight station, it's it's still providing some goods, so fine. Is everyone still with me, by the way? Someone send me a message so I know that you're still there. How much is... Yeah, Elliottsborough sort of... It's doing decent numbers. I don't know what else we could do here. It seems fine. Again, there's these new bus services around this end. The West Coast... actually, it's probably easier if I do this. Yeah, these... Where are they? Come on now. Yeah, these bus services. West Coast... What is it? Yeah, West Coast Motors Limited has got these services, these kind of local services that now run around the West Coast. Bus company. Nice. I presume there's some buses somewhere. Where are they all? Is this one? Oh, yeah, there's one. It's alright, isn't it? I mean, no one's on the bus, but fine. Anyway, right, so... Waffle. Let me close that. That was Elliottsborough. We're going to go to Ely Town. Right. Eesh. There's Ely Town. It's this one, isn't it? Yeah, Ely Town. How's this looking? I presume it's doing alright. Yeah. Yeah, pretty steady climb in recent years since it became kind of a bigger suburban station. It's got quite a lot of services, but it seems quite fairly sensibly... It's not too crowded. In terms of cost, what is the cost? Ely. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than the average. It's got quite a high cost per passenger, so it's not getting huge bang for its buck. But it doesn't seem too bad. Now we're to Finsbury. That's the next one. We're into the Fs, everyone. We're into the Fs. This is interesting. So this is a station that was built kind of clearly a bit grander than the other suburban stations because it's built a 120-metre long platform and it's got this nice kind of cover in the middle. People kind of go in between. It's quite grand, really. But again, it is really just used as a suburban station. But it's got big numbers, 108 passengers waiting to head to, well, all over the place. Pretty much equal numbers wanting to go to Bradshaw Metropolitan, Shildon Metropolitan, Mill Lane, and South Road. I presume both of those cases for interchange, changing trains. Yeah. And it is steadily climbing. In fact, you've had a huge leap recently. So again, there's nothing to do really. It's electrified. The train's running through. Busy. Cool. That's the F's. Flitwick, Great Western. Rather that. There's fun stuff to look at in Flitwick because Here's Flitwick. Flitwick is a big railway town. Like, it's a big railway town. You've got the old GWR works. They're presumably pretty busy maintaining trains. You've got the Flitwick Great Western Station here. Flitwick weirdly is kind of like our York allegory, except that it's like a coastal port. And then you've got the old Flitwick town. This is the old sort of big terminus built for the original Great Western Railway when it was built, and you can see it's pretty grand. The Flitwick Town, interesting. Flitwick Town is the next on the list. So in fact, we've got both Great Western and Flitwick Town here. Flitwick Town surely is incredibly expensive per platform. The thing is, well, I mean, it is, yes, and it is an expensive station. Its annual usage is not bad though. Like, it gets nearly 300 passengers using it. I mean, it's got, okay, it dropped a little bit there and then it's climbed again. It's sort of acting as a suburban station, but it definitely is bigger than it needs to be. So I think perhaps what we might see is, I think maybe we're going to go in here and just have a little look at some rationalisation of this station. We're maybe going to keep the tracks in place, but now what's going to, if I bulldoze? Okay, so we've got. Let me just remind myself what services we've got. So we've got a single freight service, and we've got 2 passenger services. Okay, so it's not very much at all. So if I happen to demolish two passenger services could use. Yeah, so if I happen to, I don't want to demolish anything that makes these buildings disappear. That's kind of critical. So if I bulldoze this and put in a freight platform. How upset is everyone going to get with me about that? And also, these platforms need extending. Look at these. So that needs to go there, and also these need extending. You know, if they are getting used, let's extend them. So that's happening. Fine. What about these up here? I think. Yeah, I think get rid of these. They're going to bulldoze these platforms. If I do that, is that? No, that's going to stay. Okay, good. I think do that. I'm now going to go in here and make sure these I've coloured these in so they look right, because you know, RP. And a bit of. Just put a bit of. Was that actually doing anything? Is it adding? Right, a little bit. I just realised I've been gawping with my mouth open for like the best part of some minutes. That's just horrible, isn't it? Tell me off when I'm. Bus stop looks a little busy. Yeah, I mean the buses are very busy. Here we are. And maybe a little bit of. This one's quite good, I think. Yeah, I quite like that one. There we go. Just a bit of. I'm doing a Besquickle house now, adding many of the vinyls. There we go, and so that's fine. A little bit of grass won't hurt, but I'm just doing that. Do that, do that, and do that. And then obviously we need to think a little bit about the track layout. Yeah, because this is. Well, firstly, let me just check. So that's using that and that. Maybe. I mean, to be fair, that's probably fine. Do that, and then what about this? This is now. So if I do this, is this now working? Yeah, that's working fine, and that's going to come in and out of there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, fine. Just utilising this sort of space a bit better. but also trying to keep this nice station building in place because this, you know, they do want to protect this. There's some nice heritage. Yeah, I'm all right with that. It seems like a fair use of that station. Hi from aboard a duplex TGV Renault Twinko. Hello, that's impressive. Must have decent Wi-Fi. Right, that's the Flitwick. Oh, we didn't actually look at Flitwick Great Western. What's wrong with Flitwick Great Western? I presume it's fine. Interestingly, oh, my eyes are going. Oh, still, jab hit me pretty hard yesterday, I have to be honest. Worth it, but it did hit me hard. That shouldn't be a reason to put any of you off. Absolutely do it, but at this point, I'm probably mostly dehydrated. Let's face it. So it's not hugely busy. Fine. You know, what is the issues with Flitwick Great Western? It's slightly overutilized, but not too bad. It's got a lot of waiting. Seems to have a lot of waiting passengers. Yeah, 53. So quite high peak waiting, but it seems to have dissipated a bit. Reasonable usage, relatively cheap, but it's fine. It's fine. What bus stop's looking busy? This bus stop, or is that back in? Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, crikey. Yeah, it's looking busy, isn't it? If they can't be bothered to wait for a bus, what can I do for them, you know? Could I increase the number of buses? No, probably. What? That's not even. Yeah, I don't want this one. Yeah, there's loads of vehicles. I don't know what they're fussing about. There, I've given them loads of extra buses. They cannot be unhappy about that. Imagine if it crashed there, that would be a disaster. Yeah, fine. There, they've got extra buses. Okay, that's fine. Let's get out of Flitwick. God, we're off to Framlingham, which is just so far in the other direction. There we are, Framlingham. It's a little funny old Framlingham. Yeah, there's Framlingham. It's got its station. It's got a pretty decent. Is it a 120 metre platform or is it 160? Did we extend it? There's 120 still. Kind of feels like it should be 160 metres long platforms, to be honest. How much usage does it get? Oh, not a huge amount, really. It's quite diminished as a line. That's kind of, I mean, quite impressive. It's got this big old nice viaduct, isn't it? I'm surprised, and it also was built with pretty decent standards by the Great Central. It was by the Great Central, wasn't it? Yeah. Hendon is, I mean, have we got Hendon on this list? Oh, we did Hendon already, by the look of it, because Hendon's not on this list. But I mean, Hendon is rammed and continue to get more rammed. Framlingham is depleting. That's interesting. I presume that's because there's a lot of East Coast stuff coming through and using it, but actually this what is basically relegated to a single branch line to Framlingham just isn't that well used. How interesting. Well, we'll have to see what that looks like. How many services come in here? So this is just got Bury to Framlingham and Framlingham to Shanklin. Yeah. Well, there we go. Not hugely well used. Yeah. There we go. People asking about ripping up the tracks in Flitwick. Yeah, they're not wanting to do that quite yet because they want a bit of space for marshalling and for kind of rolling stock storage. So the BS&W are happy to keep that as railway land for now. That was Framlingham. We're off back to Gisborough town. Ah, yeah, okay. Here's Gisborough. Here's big old Gisborough Victoria. Big, busy station. But just over here is Gisborough town. Now, what goes on in Gisborough town? Well, by the look of it, it becomes immensely popular. Pretty decent climb in passenger numbers in recent couple of years, so that sort of offers it a bit of a reprieve. What have we got? It's just a Maghull to Gisborough stopper. Gisborough to Maghull. It's just a little single track branch line whizzing off Up here, I think it just connects in at Bridport. It's not a hugely exciting railway line. It's pretty old. It was the first line into Gisworth. Oh no, it's the second line. It was the first passenger line. There's the old... Actually, this is going to have been... let's get some grass and this and... That was a long time ago that got severed, so that we can... There. But now it's just, yeah, this big junction, which is now relegated to just the two tracks there. And there we are, there's Bridport. Anyway, so that was Gisborne Town. I don't really think there's much to add. Hackney Junction. Let's go and have a look at Hackney Junction. Good, look how busy. Look at it. Look how busy this area is. Our big capital city. Hackney Junction. This is Hackney Junction here. It's quite compact considering how many people use it. Steady climb. It's existed for 15 years. 192 passengers. 194 passengers. Nearly 200 passengers using it a year. It's pretty busy to my eye. Yeah, nice. I don't think there's much to do with this. It is busier on the Shildon platforms than on the... well, that would make sense because all the Shildon services run through, right? There, overview. No, looks fine. Don't know. Doesn't look anything unhealthy to me. Harrogate Junction. Right now, Harrogate Junction is all the way along here on the... Let's have a look at Harrogate Junction. How many trains use Harrogate Junction? How busy is it? This is a station that hasn't changed much since it was built. Not much using it, really. Charts, quite a bit of growth. Oh, I say growth, but the long-term trend is decline, but it's picked up again in recent years, so... Okay. Okay. I wonder if the decongestion has helped down here, because there was... Obviously, there were some challenges in terms of capacity along here, but that hopefully has been resolved a bit with these kind of extra lines being built and the expansion through platform provision and the expansion of Harrogate Victoria, and then Harrogate Bay, which now I presume doesn't have... Yeah, it's just got 2 suburban services running through it, so that hopefully also frees up a bit of space. That's right, Hartlepool. Oh, crikey, we really are whizzing back and forth. This is giving you... I hope you're all paying attention to the geography of the island. Quiz after the show on the Discord. Right, there needs to be a pub quiz about... Oh, crikey, I really could do some trivia questions about the made-up archipelago. There's Hartlepool. Not really much to say about Hartlepool. 120 metre platforms. Not a hugely busy station. It's got a suburban and it's got the suburban service and the local service. I mean, it's got some numbers. 100 passengers. Oh, that must have just been a busy year, so it's not too bad if I was down to, recent years. It's not empty. It's certainly used. It's got the Hartlepool Locomotive Works as well. And of course, that branch line in its favour is serving the armoury sidings, which are the Royal Hartlepool Arms Company, which is obviously pretty important. Arms factory, right? So, where next? We're going up to Hebden Bridge now. I'm interested to see how much Hebden Bridge Station. You remember Hebden Bridge Junction? How much Hebden Bridge Junction has been hemmed in by development? And the answer is not much yet. It's still kind of out on its own. Lowestoft is much bigger than it used to be. It's a big old city. Particularly this bit, the area around Arthur Seat is expanding quite a lot. The hill is gone. Like, it's been entirely built on. It's just totally decimated by roads. This used to be quite an empty hill, and now it's just totally built on. But this area, this new area that was reclaimed land, is also getting built on. You can see it's expanding, which is kind of cool. But alas, not sufficient in this direction. This is much leafier suburbs by the look of it, and Hebden Bridge Junction isn't in the middle of it. But it is serving an increasingly large amount. So they are now all being served, which should have pitched up its usage. It's fairly busy. There's a lot of people waiting. You can see it, again, another leap upwards. I wonder if that's related to the fact that the traffic's flowing that much better. That expanded to 50... Did we open it in 1919? Was that when it opened? Anyone can tell me when it was built? In any case, usage seems to have dived up. It's got this big dive up in 34, 35. Look at that. So it seems alright. I don't think there's much really to add. Hebden Bridge Junction. High Harborough. Off to Market Harborough. Finsbury, Market Harbour. High Harbour is the kind of that new station that was built. It's not that new at all. Usage climbing. It's not huge, but it's not bad. Pretty steadily used by these services. Yeah, it's fine. High Harbour, not much to report. Ipswich Town. Oh, Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town is, let's try and get the map a bit north-south-ish. Let's go this way just to make sure. Oh, golly. No, that's not north-south. That's, there we are. That is north-south. There we go. Ipswich. Yeah. Ipswich Town is this thing, isn't it? We extended it recently, and when we did all the remodelling and put the new fast alignment in, and so on and so on. How busy is it? Oh, dramatically busy. Kingston to Raleigh stopper. Kingston to Raleigh. Where the hell direction is that going in? Well, anyway, it's busy. And oh yeah, the branch of Stratford Express calls it Ipswich Town as well. Why does it do that? Well, anyway, it does. Usage climbing. Okay, it's pretty high, and then it dropped, and then it's been climbing again recently, possibly since the infrastructure works. Actually, interesting. I don't really know what there is else we can do here, other than we'll come through here when we look at the services, and that'll help when we do some of the service resolution. I think 1902 was when Hebden Bridge Junction was constructed. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to Arthur's floor cushion, formerly Arthur's seat. Thanks, Alfonso the Pultre. Yeah. Leighton Station, formerly Leighton Great Western, now just Leighton, which is there's Flitwick. Here's Leighton. This is Leighton down here. This is the old Leighton. This is Leighton Goods Station. You see the old station building again. This is the old branch line that went to. You remember Church Street in Flitwick? Remember Church Street? This Church Street station, kind of getting built around and somewhat forgotten. But that's because the main road was built. Remember, this was a marshy bog, and it's now already getting developed by the expanding. Flitwick is expanding quite a bit. It's quite big, not as big as Shanklin, obviously. But these areas on the kind of the western coast are pretty large. Leighton Station. Leighton is the terminus of it was the terminus of the expanded Great Western when it expanded southwards, and there are lots of services, lots of expresses run through. But in terms of usage, not huge. 100 to 150. That's not that good. Yeah. But again, there's not much we can do. It's clearly Leighton's fortunes as a popular destination have diminished somewhat by the look of it, which will be sad for all the Leightonians. What can we do though? Well, we can start by colouring this in, making it all look smart. It's a nice urban realm. There we go. There we go. Let's do some of that. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't think we've done on this is actually. I don't think we've got any collision. Oh, it's too close for any. Interesting. Yeah, let's just do one there. I'm annoyed that you can't do that there. That's irritating because that means that it's not serving a bit, but not much in this direction. That'll help. That's helped on this side, so it'll help Leighton expand in this direction, which I'm at peace with. Anyway, there we go. So we've built Leighton a new station entrance at one end. Let's probably cheer up the locals a little bit. Anywho, that's Leighton. We're off to Liverpool. We're off to Liverpool, everyone. Liverpool. There's Liverpool. This is Liverpool Station. See, Liverpool Station, a bit strange. It's got this sort of... There's the centre of Liverpool. There's Liverpool Station, well located. How busy is it, though? Steady climb. Yeah, that's a definite steady climb. Upwards, positive trend. It's over 200. That looks alright to me. It's not a hugely expensive station. Is it 120 metre long platforms? No, surely not. No, it's just 80. Just 80. Just wait till the jet age when the citizens of the archipelago will go on package tours to Margate and Skegness. Well, indeed. Liverpool, London, London. Now we've talked about London. We showed you this new causeway that's built, and that is this new road connection between London and Maybury. Which, let's face it, was a sensible thing to do. They were on a peninsula with a spit of land, hardly anything between them, so it made sense to build this causeway to connect the two of them. Here's London Station. It got some new entrances on that side. I can't remember when we did that. Well, I did that on or off stream, but it got some new entrances, and this little area sort of filled out, and that looks to me like a pretty decent trend upwards. Busy. Now Low Harbour, back to Market Harbour again. Now this is interesting because Low Harbour is it's the original terminus station, the old Market Harbour terminus station here, right, before the new connection was built. And its use is growing. It's not justifying its closure, much as it is a bit of an annoying spur that's an operational problem. It is actually quite popular. It's got Bradshaw and Shildon services that run to it, and yeah, as we looked at, pretty popular. And there we go. We're getting there, folks. We're on to the M's. Oh, we're off to Maghull Central. We haven't done anything in Maghull Central for ages. Remember, we had a lot of major reconstruction in Maghull Central, but here's Maghull Central, and well, it is what it is. It's doing what it's doing. No obvious. 82. That's people using the Framlingham to Shanklin service, but they're not going to Framlingham. They're just going to Rugeley and Hendon. So they're using it to go to Hendon, because Hendon's the popular sort of destination. Some various expresses call through and stop at Maghull. You've got, although interestingly, it's sort of steadying. It sort of looks like a decline almost in usage, which is interesting. But let's have a look at the services through here. There's the non-stop Bury to. Well, let me click on this because there we are. Yeah, the non-stop Bury to Shanklin service whizzes through, but everything else sort of calls in various places, and you've got all the service. You've got the kind of the terminal platforms down here as they kind of half behave. Actually, with some of the expresses coming through, it started doing weird stuff, but it doesn't seem to be causing any conflicts. I don't think. It doesn't seem to be causing any major congestion, to be honest. So, not too much of an issue. Yeah, there's definitely an express train that, in fact, it's maybe worth us actually solving that, because let's see, what are calling in at 5 and 6. Kingston to Maghull. That's lowest stuff to Shanklin. Kind of feel like that should be going through 4. Yeah. Likewise. Yeah, likewise the... what about what's in 6? Stratford to Shanklin. That is presumably going through. That should also be going on 4, I think. Yeah, there we go, because those two terminal platforms really need to be terminal platforms. So what's in 2 then? Stratford to Shanklin. That should also be in 3. I mean, I say that, maybe it is best to keep... What have we got in 2? 2 is just low stuff to Shanklin. Yeah, maybe Stratford to Shanklin should go into 2, because there's no reason for that not to kind of go through that. That's not such a big deal. And actually maybe it splits out, because there's more it's a busier station through on that side, whereas things sort of open out a bit on the other side. So yeah, that makes more sense. It's easier for us to queue things up on this side than it is on the other side, as it were. Potentially you'd add a platform loop on this side to help with that, but it doesn't seem too congested. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be too much congestion. That's fine. Thoughts? Did I notice any performance improvement after the recent large patch? It's hard to tell because I did lots of things all at once, but yes, I think so. I think there have been improvements, major improvements. Yeah, major improvements. I mean, you can see when I'm running things, it runs pretty smoothly. And you remember how shonky it was before. It definitely has helped. We're off to Matlock. Whizzing along. Where's the Matlock line? Oh yeah, it's from Paignton where the Matlock terminus is. So the Matlock line here. There's the Matlock Railway. So Matlock Town, first of all. How busy is Matlock Town? Let's have a look. Bit of a climb, but generally, yeah, generally a steady climb. Bit of rough in the early 30s. Quite a few services. A lot of people waiting to go to Paignton. I mean, there should be a train coming along soon. When is the next? Kingston to Southport stopper. When is the next train coming along that's going to take them in that direction? Oh, there's a bit of a gap. This one, no. This one, no. There's just a queue in the other direction. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there is a bit of a queue. When is it? That must be miles away. Oh, crikey. Okay. Is this it? Oh. No, well, they're going to be waiting a while. Yeah, this is why we're going to look at services and which services are over and undersubscribed. Talking about stations, so this is Matlock Victoria up here, by far the grander station. And so that what was the peak usage in this one? This was peak usage was sort of 200. What about Matlock Victoria? Peak usage is half that. It's half that really, and it's dropped even in recent years. Interesting. Yeah, this is on the South Western Joint Railway. And it seems like it just isn't as popular. But it is a North-South Railway, whereas the kind of the East-West Railway seems to be more popular there. Interesting. So there we are, yeah. Okay, so that's the two Matlock stations. We're off back to off back to the Setic region. And we're going to look at Mayborough. So Mayborough is actually, technically, it's Mayborough and Godlingston. And I think we renamed the station Mayborough and Godlingston. Yeah, Mayborough and Godlingston Station. And a bit of usage climb in recent years. Yeah, so give it the benefit of the doubt. Seems alright. That's pretty decent use, pretty busy. It hasn't got any canopies, I've noticed. But, you know, the BS&W are trying to keep things cheap. What else have we got? Mill Lane, right. Mill Lane is right on the border between, right on the kind of the I think Mill Lane is the station that's right between where, yeah, here we are. It's kind of right on the edge of Shildon, and where, and the other side is, you've got Bradshaw expanding towards it. Mill Lane is super busy. Mill Lane is sitting at 200. It's just a poxy nowhere station, and it's got as many users as the busiest station in Matlock. So look at this. Look at these. Busy. Not much to do really, other than just acknowledge that it is busy, and we'll have a look at these Met services in a bit more detail later. Morecambe. We're off to Morecambe to look at both Great Northern and Great Western stations in Morecambe. Morecambe being coming out of Stratford. There's Stratford, and there's Morecambe. Kind of a popular holiday destination. You know, the old pier. There's the pier, Morecambe Pier there, kind of famous feature. The old Morecambe Great Western station. Let's start with that. Pretty busy. Bit of a decline in recent years. Not too worried about that, I don't think. As for Great Northern gets a lot of stuff going through it because it's got this sort of steelworks at the other end. Weirdly, it's kind of a joint operation, so you've got BS&WR services running up here, which is a bit weird. But yeah, that's all for serving Kroll Consolidated Construction Limited's steelworks up here. So anyway, that is that. Let's have a look at the station. Big gap. Why is there a big gap? I presume that's because there's some congestion going on. There's a service coming in just now. There must have been congestion causing all the problems that we've now fixed, hopefully, with Lowestoft having sorted its sugar lumps out. So yeah, we do need to try and make some of the islands a holiday destination. We did it with boats before, and it kind of did work. The improved boat connections did actually help. But yeah, you're right. We need to possibly think about air connections. Anyway, 1930. Yeah, it's getting better. But what about... So interestingly, we looked at Pier Station before, didn't we? And Pier is just not huge. So that's like 20 passengers compared to Great Northern, which is sort of sitting at 80. So it's not... These aren't busy stations, interestingly enough. Whereas, by far the busiest of the three stations is Great Western. That is the busiest station. Interesting. I wonder if that's... something that the Great Northern need to be worrying about, whether they need to up the number of services. We'll maybe understand that when we look at services. Right, Orpington. Orpington is hop, skip and a jump away over here. Orpington's a busy old station, actually, because it's got all this industry going on, and it's got quite a few local services running into it. I say that, it's got about 100 of usage, and then 200 1 year. Mixed bag. There's a strike, don't worry about that. 10 years. That's not. I don't even want to think about what happened there. I just got snarled up and I didn't pay attention. I won't make that mistake again. That's all going on. Not too busy. I think it's fine. Let's have a quick look at services. Yeah, there's the freight. Quite a bit of freight. Yeah, fine. What's next? Richmond Joint. That's the old Richmond town. Harrogate, Corby, Gisborough, Richmond. There's Richmond. Richmond breaking free of its shackles and starting to expand beyond the extent of the railway. What a place! This is our Doncaster allegory, I think, because it's so surrounded by railways. This is there's Richmond Joint. 120-metre platforms, because it's kind of trapped. It's junction locked on one side and it's got a level crossing on the other, so the platforms can't get any longer. It's busy. Look at that, 400 passengers in each direction, so like double that for the total annual usage. Whew, busy. 330 in each direction, kind of hopping on and off. Definitely a climb, yeah. So it's busy and there's not much we can do about it. Right, now we're off to Shanklin. Shanklin Central and Shanklin Great Western are about to get some attention. How? I presume these are doing. That's Orpington, that's no good. Shanklin. I presume Shanklin Central's doing alright. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, looks like steady decline, but actually it's got solid numbers. It's not hugely busy. I mean, you know, you compare to the station we were just at. Where were we just at? Richmond. I mean, Richard's got fewer users than Richmond Joint. Not huge numbers waiting. Lots of express services. Only a couple of stoppers, interestingly. So it's all about the express services coming to Shanklin, interestingly enough. It's kind of very much an express station. Whereas then we look at our old fave, Shanklin Great Western. Everyone loves Shanklin Great Western, right? It's just like total chaos. Steady climb. Still 200, 241, 258. Let's see what that is over time. That looks more like a steady climb, to be honest. And we've got some big numbers waiting. Actually, a lot of people waiting. Interestingly, a lot of people waiting to go to Big Inn Hill Halt. That's interesting. That's a kind of a sign of the times, I think. Yeah, likewise, this one going to Big Inn Hill Halt as well. That's interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. South Road. Does everyone remember South Road? Let's whiz along here. This is the pleasingly straight line to Kingston, but actually, obviously, we have to divert off that and go down to Bradshaw because we're going to South Road. South Road is here. This is South Road Station. This is the junction, kind of that first big junction station that was built when it was expanded. Goodness knows how long ago. I mean, you look at the other stations, and it's consistently getting huge numbers. 350 in and out. Pretty steady numbers. It's a busy station, folks. It's a busy station, but pleasingly, not huge numbers of people waiting and collecting because there's this decent through flow of regular services. Don't worry, we're nearly at the end of this bit. 2 hours in, and we're still on stations. Don't worry, I promise we're getting there. Let's press play and keep moving things. Actually, while we're towards the end of the list, we've only got 4 stations left. Stamford Great Northern, which we renamed actually. It got renamed to Stamford Meadows, didn't it? I wonder if this is a particularly popular name with the locals. Doesn't give off like strong vibes, does it? You know, not those 1930s sort of vibes. So yeah. 134, 100. It's kind of doing it. Nothing grand. It's got lots of services coming through one track. Sorry, 2 tracks, but you know, double pair of tracks. But they're kind of running in, they run out again. It's not too bad. Yeah. Stevenage Great Western. Oh, Stevenage is over here. Stevenage. Quite a different type of station. Well, I say that, it's another combined freight and passenger station. How busy is it? Not hugely. Not hugely. Yeah, interesting. Not a hugely busy station. And then Wooler, the last place we're going to is actually along the line from Blackpool this way to Wooler. Wooler building up between these, kind of hemmed in by these two railways. We've got the joint station, which is looking at sort of steady. Got a peak, and then we're in 1935. Hooray! Look at all this stuff. New plane, new boat, new train, new loco, new coach, and new trucks. Oh, all the joyous things that are going to happen this year. Cannot wait. It's going to be exciting. So we have Wooler Town, which has got around 100. Actually, nothing recently. What's going on? It's not that busy, surely. Just got something pulling through. How confusing. Anyway, but also, yeah, compared to, so what was that? That was around the 100 mark, whereas Wooler Victoria is around the 50 mark. It's not, yeah, interesting. Those are what those are. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. It's 1935. Remember to get me to stop on 1st of January 1936 to get census data. Remind me, just in case I forget. So that's it. One last station. The last station we look at is Wooler Junction. How busy is Wooler Junction? Yeah, by comparison, it's over 100. Pretty busy. Bit of decline. I mean, it's interesting. This line is getting less busy. This is yeah, there we are, and lots of things going through. It's a pretty busy station, and not much in the way of freedom for anything but the freight kind of coming through it. Anyway, right. Having just pipped into the new year, there are some things we need to do. The first thing we need to do is, well, there's a new aircraft, and let's have a look at the most popular airlines right now, because they're going to be, the airlines are absolutely going from strength to strength in the 1930s. It's the peak of like luxury. So these are interestingly, these are full. So interesting. East Coast Airlines. No, I don't want that. Let's have a look at all of them. So if I go, these are ones that aren't particularly well used. So we probably Bury to Lowestoft. Interestingly, Bury to Lowestoft not particularly well used. What is this? This is using the JU52. So I tell you what, let's go in. I'm going to pin that there. Manage these vehicles. Let's swap these. So we're going to swap these out for the faster JU52. There we go. Cascaded, if you like. But these ones that are crammed, the Bury lines, East Coast Airlines to Bury, this is full. Let's swap. I'll just make sure I've got both. Let's swap these out for this new, shiny Douglas DC-3. There we go. Swap that out. What about now? Let's also do that. These look pretty busy as well, so let's manage these and also swap these out for this new shiny DC-3. East Coast Airlines splashing out the big pennies. Bury to Raleigh, interesting. This service seems to be. So let's also go for, they're going to go for the. Actually, maybe they're going to cascade these, so they can run these with the cascade those. Let's see. What else is looking kind of full? Bury to Raleigh, yeah, we've done that. That's not. It's annoying they don't have two columns for these, so you can see which is full, or like 100%, because it just orders it by the rear number, which is just unhelpful for actually seeing what's full and what's not full. Yeah, lovely. Lowestoft. This is a flagship one, even though this isn't hugely popular. We're gonna bump these up with the DC-3. It might encourage some new passengers to drop in. These ones, Bury to Lowestoft, Bury to Raleigh, and this one as well. We'll just swap. What's that? Bury to Biggin Hill. Yeah, these they're going to swap these out with because they're cascading, aircraft cascading. They've got a bigger aircraft. Abbeydale, they're going to manage this one. This is also going to get swapped out with the Junkers, the Junkers. There we are. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And so if I then go, let's see, Arch. Let's just have a look at these ones. These don't look too full. Interesting, this one is. So we're going to swap this out with a larger aircraft, because this is actually... this is running an F-13 at the moment, isn't it? Yeah. Let's get it a bigger aircraft. And maybe the Biggin Hill to... Oh, that's to Uckfield. Oh yeah, that's the one I just put in. Yeah, yeah. These two are not looking particularly busy, so let's leave them to that. Lowestoft to Biggin Hill. I mean, they're gonna manage this. They're gonna swap these out with the Junkers, aren't they? Lowestoft to Cleese, but yeah, the Cleesby services are gonna still be with the little plane. Oh, you know what? Nah, they're gonna. And also Lowestoft to Cleesby. Let's swap this one out with the Junkers as well. There. How's that? Is everyone happier now? There we go. Some shiny aircraft flying around. That's aircraft done. Yeah, it's pretty much already in the colours of our East Coast Airlines. Yeah, it's true. So if we now go down and have a look at... have we got one of the new aircraft coming in? It's just a Junkers. Yeah, fine. That'll increase the speed of that journey, by the way, because the DC-3 is fast, folks. It's very fast. Let me go... Oh, right. We can have a look at services in a minute. Cool new planes. Yeah, lovely. What else was I going to do? What stuff appeared? It was boats, wasn't it? I don't know if there's much improvement on the boats. Let's go over to Shanklin and have a look at some of the boat lines that we've got here. Boats. So we've got... Let's not worry about those, but we've got these services. The June and the Ketley. We've got Shanklin to Oban, and we've got Shanklin to Southport, which is the MV Great Western. So let's have, so if I go... So I swap these out with... So they're currently this, which is 17, and then if I put them to this, 20, which carries quite a lot more people, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Swapping those two out. Now, how fast... If I... So that's currently that, which is 19. If I put it to this, it's 20. Is that much difference? It unloads quicker. Oh, it's small as well compared to big. Yeah, okay, so... what's its annual maintenance? Where is its maintenance cost? Oh, it's quite a lot more to maintain a year. You compare this to this. It's quite a lot more to maintain a year. Anyway, right, okay, fine, we'll leave that at that. So that's, there it is. So that looks quite shiny, doesn't it? New vessel. Lovely. Very good. There's Shanklin. A busy old Shanklin. Busy old city. Bit of congestion here. No worries about that. Oh. What else? What other vehicles do we have? Oh yeah, I know the trains. We got trains upgrades. I know. Ooh, don't worry. I didn't miss that. Let's go to... tell you what, first of all, it's 1935. What's going on in 1935? Yeah, so we can talk about the fact that up to this point we've had lots of kind of new roads built from that, like, since through the Depression era. We've kind of seen a lot of them. You've seen a lot of these new roads because I've kind of been slowly doing it, kind of a lot of it off stream, because roads are less interesting to build, I think, than railways, and a lot of you don't care for the building of the roads, right? So I do a lot of that off stream because I can kind of enjoy it a bit myself and not have to think about talking the whole time, which makes my brain go smooshy. So lots of roads. I'm just kind of whizzing around, but you can see lots of roads. We did some of the tarmac upgrading, didn't we? So we kind of experienced that. I'm interested to see how much these roads have got busy, if at all. The answer is not at all. Is there anything actually that goes up them? I mean, it does. Yeah, I mean, it does. It definitely does get. It is definitely carrying traffic. You know, it's not hugely busy, but anyway. So yeah, that's happening in 1935. So marvelous. Everyone's shouting and screaming about the new trains. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, lots of chat going on. Bicester Village of its day. I don't even know which station that's referring to, but thanks, Alfonso. Yeah, agreed. Upgrade them all. Speed increase is massive. Yeah. War is brewing. Oh, I don't know. There are dark clouds, but everyone on our island is staying blissfully, happily unaware of all that thing. Shipping budget hit by the need for submarine nets, maybe. Not yet. Not where we are we worrying about it. We're happy in the knowledge that we're not worrying about that sort of thing. In fact, our transport minister has been spending time in Italy and Germany looking at their fancy new roads and taking some inspiration for it. So, yeah. I'm gonna go. So what? If I sent a picture, didn't I, on the Discord, as in what was appearing? So what else appeared there? The trucks didn't they? 3 train things appeared, trucks appeared, plane appeared, boat appeared. Is that right? It was the Meadows one. Oh yeah, Bicester Village. Okay, yeah. Stupid name. Yeah, right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this. Yeah, the trucks literally double the rate of. So I'm going to do this and this. So we've got... Actually, I might as well just do it this way, actually, which is to go here and click on this. So if I've got... That's the arms going to there. This seems to be at... To be fair, this sort of... The rate of the... I mean, the rate of that is huge. The rate of these seems big enough. But what I can probably do is half the number of vehicles. So that's the thing we're going to do. These vehicles are... I mean, they're in good condition, actually. Weirdly. I presume that's because I've replaced them all pretty recently. We're going to do it. We're going to... So if I now... So these feed... They only need to provide 400 in total to this for it to function. Right? Shipment 200. Yeah, okay, well, I'll tell you what. We can... So if I go back here, like this... Oh yeah, this. So this is getting loads. The shipment is... Right, so... Timber supply. Let's swap all these out with the new truck. Oh, interestingly, there isn't a... You know what? I'm just going to hold off on those ones. What I'm going to do is go down to... I'm going to go down to Richmond, actually. Not Richmond. And I'm just going to go over here because there's a load of... Richmond have been diversifying. They've been getting less happy with the reliability of the road, of the railway, and they've been investing in road transport. So you can see here they've got some supply, and then they've got Richmond, Gisborne, and Stamford. So let's have a quick look at the vehicles here. So supply 1, what's that rate? So if I manage these vehicles, and if I go swap these all... Gonna need some penny for this one. If I now swap these all out for... There we go. Now the rate of this is now over 200. About the rate on this one. Again, I think if I do that, the rate will be over 200. Yeah. Oh, actually... Oh, it's not quite, but it's so in total, this should be getting enough supply. So that suddenly starts making the railway that they're running as well feel less useful. Not only that, let's have a look at Gisborough. So Gisborough, let's manage the vehicles in this. Swap this out. We're taking, what are we taking? We're taking brick. So let's swap those out for the brick there. Richmond, let's swap that out for... Yeah, weirdly, what things the different trucks carry changes. And likewise, let's do this. This one interestingly carries less. I might well swap this with this specific truck rather than the general truck. But what have we got? We've got Stamford. Now that's 79. That's 176. That's 76. So it's not huge. But I think the key thing is if I click on... is this the Gisborough train? That's the Maghull train. If I go here and then click on the Gisborough service, what's the rate? That's 189. What was the rate on our lorries that we had to Gisborough? 76. So if I add, say, 4 more, Now what's the 113? And the other thing is, it wasn't getting full, that train. So they're basically thinking, you know what? That service that we're running, it's getting slowed, it's getting delayed, it's getting slowed down. Let's also just check. I don't know how many trains. It's just one. 40 trains. Let's, you know what? They're sacking it in. They're not going to pay the BS and WR for this. They're sick of it. The delays. They're moving it to road. That service is gone. It's gone. What about Mag Hull? Mag Hull is... The rate is 226 to Mag Hull. That's busier, and it's carrying a lot more up to Mag Hull, so they're probably going to struggle to justify getting rid of that. So let's yes, there isn't a Mag Hull one. There's Stamford. Is there a Stamford? Oh yeah, this one runs to Stamford. Anyway, right. So they've that line is gone. So that old goods station that is in Gisborough is no longer being used. Now the other thing is, I'm going to do this. There's the Bradshaw service. Now I have to try and remember. This is trickier because I have to work out where all the blinking. If I click on here and then click this, where does the brick want to go? Oof. This feels like an off-stream type thing to do, right? Let's have a look at services first. Basically, that's just a hint of some of the stuff I'm going to do off-stream. I'm going to be going around and making that sort of assessment for some of the different companies. This is the point where they're going, well, you know what? We've got, by road, we don't have to wait. It's quicker. We've got control over it. It's more reliable. We're moving it, the roads are being improved as well, so the speed of road traffic, the speed of those road journeys is potentially better. Road services are pretty unregulated, so you've got drivers hammering their vehicles as fast as they possibly can to get them from A to B. This is it. And yes, lag can be saved a little bit by the fact that we can have fewer trucks on the road as well, by the fact that they carry more. It's very true. So let me just whiz OBS back up and go back to small face screen 2. So let's have a look at services. So we looked at all those stations. Now we've got these services. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to look at just at the Met services to start with. You can see the Met services here. So we're going to start with those, the BS and WR Met services. All of them, at the time of the census, all of them were making a tremendous loss. Let's kind of see what that looks like now. So we'll start with that. Let's have a quick look at the Met services and see how they're doing. So let's go. Let's do this. Sorry, let's do this. Oh god, no, I didn't want to do that because it's now looking at road vehicles, rail, and switch that off, and then click Met. There we are, and that should filter it nicely. Oh no, it doesn't at all. It's not doing what I wanted to do at all. Oh, yeah, stuff it. Let's just do that. Here we are. It's annoying there's not a filter up here, but never mind. So I need to do the lines actually. That's probably the best thing to do, isn't it? There. Do that and then click Met here, and then I can see what's going on. Maybe if I pin that as well, that'll help. So we've got, let's have a look at these. So this one is, finance wise, it's not moving many passengers and it's costing an absolute bomb. So the solution to this is to reduce the cost, because the cost of the annual cost is over 2 million, whereas the income is 60,000. So this is not sustainable. So what can we do about this? Well, there's a new item of rolling stock, and I know a lot of you are going to go, that's not what it did in history, but this isn't. This I don't care about history. This is our little island. This is the rolling stock that's available to us. This is what we're going to emulate. So we're just going to shove in a little. It's our first multiple unit making its way, and what we're going to call it? Well, we're going to call this. This is it's B stock, because it's the B. It's the new design. It's B35 suburban stock. There we are. It's our first suburban stock. So this now, the maintenance cost of this should be a lot less. I can't exactly remember, but anyway, that should be a lot less because it's much less vehicle. It doesn't need to be as big. So let's see what that does for the finances of this line. Likewise, let's have a look at Sheldon Harbour. People are asking whether I'm going to replace the old bridges along the line. That's possibly something we're going to consider doing as things get faster, maybe. Might look at that along our express lines. Stay tuned. So, again, this is just very expensive for what it's carrying. I suppose it's worth thinking about how many people end up potentially riding in this train. What is this? This is Shildon to Low Harborough. Let's do this. Let's also with this one. Let's swap it out with a single one of these in this nice. There we are. And this is, we're going to call this as we did before. It's the B35 suburban stock. There we go. See how this goes. So now we're going to look at Shildon Ely. Finance-wise, it makes more. Like, it's carrying a lot more people. Let's have a look. The trains are, that's not hugely busy, but the other one is. I mean, again, not hugely busy. What are these? This is Shildon to Ely. So these, perhaps we're gonna. These ones, maybe we're gonna not. Let's go for some. So if we do this, let's go. And then this is B35. And likewise, no. Let's see how this fares for these. The worst offender is the one that's losing the most. Let's have a look at the opposite end of the spectrum, and we'll maybe come back and reevaluate this. They can't replace them all at once in 1 year, right? So the worst. Let's have Bradshaw Ellesmere. Presumably it's carrying the most people. It's making the most money, but it's also making huge losses, and it kind of needs. It's making pretty large losses. So I think what we're going to do for this is manage vehicles, and we're going to swap out all of these with. I think the biggest that we can have is 3. That's 76 meters. 80 meters is our limit. There we go. So that's all of them, and all of these are B35. So let's just do that, and then there we go. Marvellous. Is that all them renamed? Oh, that was quite a slick operation. Marvellous. No, we're just calling it, the previous is the A stock, we're just calling this B stock. So they're just progressing it letter by letter. So letter for the era, for the generation of rolling stock, suburban rolling stock, and the number is the year. Kind of continuing the tradition of the Metropolitan Railway. So that, now Bradshaw Ely is another one that's losing a lot. Let's have a look at Bradshaw Ely. I think these trains get busy, so again, we don't want to shorten them particularly, because this is reducing the number of passengers. That carried more passengers in its previous out. I think it was 80 before. So for example, I click on this, it has a 70, and then it loses down to 60. But is it worth it? I think it is worth it for the benefits we're getting of reduction in annual maintenance. There we go. Swap these out, and there we go. And you, and you, and you. There we go. Happy days. So that. What about these two? These two 4 million ones. Let's have a look at these as well. Yeah, finances. It doesn't look too bad. What about the? How busy are these trains? Oh, I need to get into the habit of pin that as well. How busy are these trains? 9, 22, 9, 69. Okay, they do get busy. In which case, it's probably best to not shorten them. Let's go with another triplet. There we are. There we are. All replaced with B35 stock. Marvellous. The last one we're going to do is then Shildon to Oldwood Junction. These two. Interestingly, Shildon to Oldwood Junction. There's 2 trains. How busy do these trains get? Shildon to Oldwood Junction. 2:30. Oh, interesting. So what I'm going to do with these is something slightly different, which is just have 2, a pair. There. Marvellous. So if we whiz along, there we go. Let's get rid of this. There, look at this. Nice little electromultiple unit. Away it goes, the first electromultiple unit in use on our little railway. This one happens to be quite busy, taking people up to... There we are. Taking people up to bricklayers, which is looking busier. I think there are people collecting here. Interesting. Anyway, right. So there we go. That's that. Yeah, it does look a bit Yellow Submarine, doesn't it? They look pretty funky, but I quite like the idea of quite an iconic-looking train. It's interesting that a lot of these are still the old local hall, but if we was in this direction, yeah, you can see the first of the. This one, is it full? Yeah, it's pretty full. So they are going to fill up. We'll see. We'll see whether we need to increase the number of trains, or because they are limited to how long they can be. These trains. Oh, there's a nice fuel train coming through. Right, the thing that you've all been waiting for me to do, which is, so we're getting to the 30s, and we've got a lot of old rolling stock in operation. A lot of old rolling stock. So we're going to have to look at some expresses, I think. So that's the Met services. I don't think there's much you can do with the Mets. They're fairly straightforward, so hopefully that's going to have helped and reduced some costs. If I go back to the old OBS and go here, so that's fine. We can clear that filter. Let's look at the local services, all of them, so for both companies. Which ones are the big loss makers? Let's order these from smallest to largest. The biggest loss maker is Stratford Hartlepool, this local service. It's the Stratford to Hartlepool local. It's making a tremendous loss. Let's see if that's still the case on our... Yeah, crikey. Let's go and have a look, shall we? So, if I go in here and just type in local, pop this in here. Is it still the worst one? It's not, actually, interestingly. Stratford Hartlepool has now dropped. It's Gisborough Ely that seems to be causing serious headaches, and it's losing... All of them are losing a lot less money, which is also quite interesting. Stratford Hartlepool. 6... Is that 6 services? Oh, crikey. So if I pin this here, how busy are all these services? Could we reduce the number of trains? 24, 4, 14, 13, 19, 7. So if we reduce the number of... Not only are these... Okay, right, so what we're going to do is, for this local service, they're going to get new rolling stock. Happy days for them. Not just new rolling, they're going to get cascaded, sort of this stuff as well, so that'll cheer them up. So, we're going to go for... let's see. 3 coaches and a tank, which is still more capacity than they had before, actually. So maybe just 2 coaches. That's probably, what is that? That's 34. Yeah, let's go with that and see what happens. Okay. But also, that we're going to sell this one, and we're going to find another one that's fairly empty. 24, 19. This one is going. We're going to sell this one as well to reduce that service. So we're thinning that service out quite a lot. Just to kind of, it'll still get full, but it should solve some issues. There's some real seagulls outside going absolutely mental, and I have no idea what they're doing. It's crazy. Is there a chance LNER will introduce electric long-distance freight service, given they have a lot of quite new locomotives they aren't using? No. LNER? You mean the GNER? Or are we talking about real life, Gregors? I'm not sure. No, the GNER are... Everyone's steam. Steam is the aim of the game. There's coal to burn. Steam is the way. What was the other local service that's struggling? The Gisborough Ely service. This is not healthy, which is interesting. So the next one on our list was Stratford Raleigh. So this is quite high again. This is a bit of a big loss maker. So let's understand what the hell's going on with this. Why is it making such a big loss? Has it ever been doing better? Not particularly, no. So we're spending $1 million and we're getting 313 in. Now, let's pin this and understand why that is. These services don't get particularly full. This runs, what is this, Stratford through up to Raleigh. It's not particularly fast. So okay, right, well, tell you what, let's replace with the new loco. Get this new tank in. In fact, you know what? They're gonna get this one's a bit longer. We're gonna get the old get this one in. And we're gonna, because we've got loads of these to cascade for reasons, let's go with let's get 3. There we are. that should be nice. It's a nice nippy service. There, that might help things out a bit. Let's keep doing this. This is what it's all about, really. Gisborne to Ely now. Gisborne to Ely, what is that service? So that's going. This is the little local one that runs from. Yeah, so this is rubbish and obviously needs. Let's get the new. So these new services, they're investing in the new services, new tank engine. In fact, this one's a bit longer. Again, let's go for this. Let's go 4. Let's go for 2 of these. There we are. Yeah. Yeah, fine. There's a reason we're going to have a look. We've got loads of all of these because of cascade reasons. Hopefully that's not. I don't think that. Yeah, that's fine. How do these look, by the way, when they're on their own? Let's go and have a look at them. Is there one there? Yeah. Does it looks kind of. It's quite grand for just 2 coaches, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, this one, yeah, I think this looks a bit daft. Let's just let me just bin that and go for. I think we'll go for the tank. And there we are. Yeah, I think that looks a bit more like it. Okay. Yeah, everyone can hear the seagulls. Yeah, there's seagull chaos going on outside. BS and WR, since they just replaced their engines. Oh, I see, those electrics that just went spare. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, there is a good chance there's a lot of people waiting at stations, but, you know, not all information we have is perfect, and I think that kind of neatly represents how bad a lot of the railway companies were doing it, actually collecting data at this time in history. What's this? That's another local service, conveniently, the Droitwich to Ely service, which is... it's the one that does the loop round from Droitwich and comes back in. This one, interestingly, this one, yeah, this one is I'm gonna do it with this. This is getting this, and then it's getting 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a bit of an upgrade. There we are. There we go. Happy with that. What are the other ones that are loss making? Let's have a look. So we've got. Which ones? I forget which ones we've done now. No, I don't have to because we've got all this rolling stock here. Southport to Frome. That is running. And Frome Hexham. These are all running with these old slow stock. Frome Orpington. Yeah, so all of these all need upgrading. So let's go with let's start at the top. Let's also pin this and pin this. Hopefully we've got 8 and 12. So these could be busy. They're quite. So let's swap these out. Let's swap these out for. There we go. And what time is it? We've got half an hour. Bloody hell. Should we go with just 2? No, let's go with 3. No, let's go with 2. I don't think that's caused any headaches. Right, we'll see how that goes. That's a reduction in... That sort of speeds it up. So there's potential we can get rid of one of the trains at some point. But speeding it up might help get more people on it. So that's what they're thinking. Frome Hexham. What is Frome Hexham? Oh, it's running... It's that coastal bit. It's running kind of from Frome down through Raleigh and then back up. So let's do the same with this. Let's swap this for... Frome Hexham. I feel like this should be a bit of a... longer service, to be honest. Let's do. I know that's actually potentially increased the cost of the service, but it's also increased this. We'll see. I think that might not be such a bad thing. Stratford to Morecambe. It's the old Stratford service. This one is interestingly pretty much covers its costs, so I don't really want to do anything with it. It nearly covers its costs every year. Look. I don't quite know why it's looking so bad then in that case. Shall we... Let's manage the vehicle. I mean, it needs an upgrade anyway, let's face it. So, actually what we can do is this. We're going to keep the coaches and just give them a rolling stock upgrade. What's his length? 100. There we are. There we go. That's should look quite good actually. Nice long. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. Lovely. Right, what's next? Frome Orpington. Oh, that's the old Orpington service. So again, this might be running knackered. These two are, I mean, they're full. So this actually is a bit of a weird. So these, I get the feeling these need to be upgraded. They're going to be upgraded with. Pop this on and then. Actually, you know what? They've got services to cascade because, as you'll see momentarily. So this. I'm gonna go with 5 coaches for these. 0 in one direction. Let's see what this does for its finances. But we're going to get rid of one of them. So this is the empty one. We're just going to get rid of the empty one. So it's now one train running much faster with more space. That should save some money. I'm trying to think in mid 20th century ways. What's next? What services are we running? Tiny, old, and slow. Stratford to Hexham. That's another one. That's just a one coach. Are these full? Yeah, these get full, so I'm going to actually increase the size of these ones. They're going to go to... Yeah, add one of those, and... There. Don't want it like... It's for bands. There. See what happens with that. What else have we got that's slow? Southport and yeah, Bristol to Orpington. That's old and slow. They're going to leave that to it. And Southport, Stevenage, Orpington. Again, are these busy? You know, they're. The thing is, these are busy. They are busy. Finances wise, just about cutting it. So if we go for this one, this service, manage vehicles. If I go for this tank, get this tank on the go, and then bring in a just 2, which still gives me more capacity than I had before, doesn't it? 34, oh, just. So maybe 3. This has got 2, this has got 33. So this, we're going to sell this one. So fast train means that we can, I mean, it's double the speed basically. So I'm not sure, I haven't actually looked at the rates. Could mix coaches a bit. Yeah, there, yes, could do that. I do like mixing coaches actually. I haven't done my coach mixing. I do need to do that, you're right. What are we going to do for Bristol Orpington? Are we going to... Yeah. Hendon Pier. Oh yeah, the Hendon Pier line. It just is what it is, isn't it? Look at it. It's just running back and forth. There's nothing to do for that. Leave that as it is. Finances. Leave it. Ely to Corby. So we've kind of done a lot of upgrades there of all the local services. The Stratford Ferry. Oh yeah, the Stratford Ferry one as well. Actually, we could definitely. Oh, let's definitely get rid of that and pop a new tank at the front. Oh no, not that one. Sorry, I want to do that for Stratford Ferry. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that and then pop. There, grand. Yeah, good. And the Ely to Corby service. Oh, interesting. What is this? This old thing, 25 miles an hour. Ely to Corby. It's kind of doing alright, isn't it? Let's leave it. Let's leave it for now. Okay, that's all the locals. Let's now go back. Thanks for sticking with it, by the way. This is all necessary stuff I've got to do, I'm afraid, to kind of see what the hell's going on. That was the local services. We've got some suburban services that I want to have a look at now. So we've got we've got 4 BSNWR Suburbans and 5 GNER Suburbans. The BSNWR Suburbans are the ones running into and out of. We've got Droitwich to Harrogate. We have Shanklin to Carrick. So we've got 2 Harrogate-ish Suburbans. Leighton to Southport as a suburban, then we've got Shanklin to Flitwick as a. So these are all kind of in the southwest of the BS&WR network. In terms of the GNER services, we've got, the Bradshaw Kingston one that goes via Richmond Joint. We've got Bury to Hartlepool that goes via Donnell Wood. Kroll Hexham, which is that's the lowest off suburban, and then we've got these 2 Kingston ones that go, 2 other Kingston ones. So this is. What are these 2? This is the Bodmin one, and then there's a direct Kingston to Bradshaw Suburban as well. So there's kind of 3 Kingston to Bradshaw Suburban services that all run out the GNER run, with a mixed feeling a bit. Gives a nice idea of what services are running on the island. Yeah, well, I'm glad. Hopefully it's something a bit different. Hopefully it makes some sense. Right, so what we're going to do now is go up here and then get suburban written down. Lovely. What? Why is it doing that? Why is it? It's guessing that these are. Oh, it's because it's suburban stock. I'll bet that's probably why, isn't it? Never mind, it's fine. If I just order them by. Wait a minute. If I do. R suburban. There we go. Nice. Thank you. Search functions. So. Let's shrink that down as well a bit, and also it doesn't need to be quite as. Oh, it kind of does actually, so I can see what I'm doing. Right, let's. We've got these ordered in the right order. Yeah, good. Okay, let's just start from the top. What order? What? These are all in balance from actually. So let's look at the least. So the Bradshaw to Richmond to Kingston one is costing horribly too much. So why is that? It's because I added all those extra coaches and it doesn't need them. That's probably why. So if I pin this, I think I added the coaches when Oldwood Junction was functioning horribly. Added lots of extra coaches, didn't I? And I need to basically get rid of those coaches. Let's see. So we have it's 28, 52, 4, 9. So 52 seems to be a maximum here. So let's have a look at what that means in terms of vehicles. So if we swap this out for a, actually we've got some of these, so should we have, yeah, let's do it. Let's see if this, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do, we've got a load of these, so let's bring this in, which we had already anyway, didn't we? Maybe I don't want to do what the hell I'm doing. What maybe I want to do is do this, and if I reduce this now, what was it, 50? I said 52. Yeah. Okay, let's see what that does. 68 capacity, 51 capacity. Well, we kind of need the. Yeah. Thoughts appreciated, of course, folks. Yeah, there we are. I added all these in a panic to resolve problems at Oldwood Junction, but I think that will now have helped us out a bit. Yeah, you're right. I bottled the A3s thing. We've sorted that out. So there we go. That's fine. I do want to try. I've not found an excuse to mix coaches yet. I do want to do that. I had that before. I had quite a lot of mixed coaches, and I've not done that now. I need to find excuses to. I think we will with the regional ones. Don't you worry, folks. So there we go. That's that. That hopefully will help. What's next on our list? So that was the. Let's do the other Kingston ones as well. So we've got. We've kind of fixed that one. Let's have a look at the. Oh, that's the Bradshaw to Oldwood. That is weirdly. That's also making a loss. I don't think it. Why is it? Why? Jeez. I think because everything else is running quite smoothly. I'm not sure that actually anyone's using this shuttle service that I set up. But we'll see how that goes. It might well be that short-lived service disappears again. Let's look at the Bodmin one, right? So this is the Bodmin service, and it's got these old coaches which slow it down a lot. But it is getting close to covering its costs. It's getting close to covering its cost. In fact, its finances are doing usage, and finances are doing pretty well. you know, it's transported 327 people in 1934. That's not bad going. Actually, I don't have this line in my data spreadsheet, which I need to add. I can actually tell. I don't have a line saying how many people it transported in a year. That would be a useful data line, and I've not actually been recording it in past years. That's why I have a census save, so that I can go back and pick those numbers up if I need to. Use the old PLMs, to be honest. Yes. Okay. Sorry, that was really loud. So I want this to speed up a bit so that it improves. So let's do that. Let's have a look at what we can do in terms of... Let's do this. Sorry. And work out what we can do in terms of... Oh, also while we're here, let's just have a look. 1633, so that's maxed out. 41, 44. So it has the potential to be filling up these. It really does. I want to speed this up, which means I have to get rid of all of these old... All of these old suburban coaches are going. They are old and they are going. What are we going to replace them with? How quickly do these load? Not much. We've got... yeah, you know what? We're gonna cascade, because we've got a load of these. It's gonna have... I don't know what I've added that to. Okay, yeah. Now, how much? 40, 56. So let's do that. So these are cascaded from elsewhere and refurbished, because I think we have got rid of a load of triple wheeled ones. So that's nice. Now, let's see what that does. That'll increase the speed and the rate. Hopefully that'll make them more popular as well. Let's see what happens, because they were quite slow. The other one is the Kingston to Bradshaw. Now this is just the direct service that goes between Kingston and Bradshaw, I think. So let me just go in here. Oh, I didn't want to do that, did I? If I go here, I think it'll... There. This is, yeah, there are. Kingston to Bradshaw Suburban. Yeah, it's literally between Kingston and Bradshaw. Weirdly, I think if I click on these, I don't know how busy it is. 3 out of 8. 1. Not that popular. So maybe this just needs to be one fast train. Like one fast Suburban. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, how much is that? 3, 1, 8. Let's get rid of these two. Let's sell these. And let's just swap these out with... let's see. Yeah, again, we're gonna... Actually, we'll do the... and we're gonna go with... We're gonna double this up a bit. So we're gonna... For the sake of speed... Maybe 6 coaches. Because I think maybe this will make a difference to how many people want to use it. There we go. So if I now do that, let's just have a look at that. Quite like the double heading. There we are. Suburban service running much quicker. That should pull the numbers a bit. Let's see what happens with that. Okay. Let's now. So what have we got left? We've got the Bury to Haverhill and Hartlepool, and then the Crawl one. So for some reason we've just ended up doing the GNAR ones. That's fine. What's the issues with this? This was getting there. Again, it's got those older coaches. So this is okay. So 43, 6. I'm gonna. So if they've got, what's that? 7 coaches. Okay. So if I bring in 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'll just paint those the right color. Now, that's 93. So actually, maybe I want to get rid of one of the coaches at the end. There, so that's 76. It's 5. I think that's going to make... It's a faster train. Actually, I do need... Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. I do want to have... thoughts, everyone? This can be one longer, you reckon? I'm going to add do that. I'm going to double head these. You reckon this can be one longer? What do you reckon? You reckon this can still be 6 and still be used? Okay, we'll do that then. Yes, okay, fine. We've done that, and now it's just the crawl one. And let's have a look at what's going on for the crawl Suburbans. So this is, oops, crawl. Let's just manage vehicles. So this one is, it's pretty busy, double-headed. There's not really much to do with all the finances of this. Expensive somehow, and then less expensive. What's going on? Is that because 1935 hasn't happened much? This is really expensive. What can we do about this fact that it's really expensive? I don't know. Reduces cost, presumably. How much is that? 1.61. How can we make this cheaper? Perhaps with new trains. Let me go with this and go with, we're going to slam in this one, and we're going to, which is cheaper? These are cheaper. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reduce, how much is that costing a year? Less? Thoughts? Not double head? Nah. I quite like the look of the double head, even though it actually costs more. That's just me being silly. Well, that's all the GNERs, right? Okay, fine. Let's go and have a look at these blinking Harrogate services with their 25-mile-an-hour coaches are a real pain in the bottom. We've done Leighton Southport is, what's this? Droitwich Harrogate. So these two Harrogate services. This is the Flitwick service. This Shanklin Flitwick. This also needs this needs. Come on now. This service needs swapping out with. I don't think there's much I can really need to say other than just check how much. 22.44. Probably reduce this down to, because the speed will increase and that'll be fine. Right, this and let me just, if I just click that off and then click Harrogate. Does not work, does it? No, because the train isn't called Harrogate. Oh, I keep forgetting that you can't filter these by name. You can filter these, but not. They haven't put the box there for these, which is, you know, an oversight, frankly. Let's do them one by one then. These are all just useless, old, knackered stock. Droitwich Harrogate, just knackered. So let's swap. Let's have a look at some of these. We can reduce. Oh, that can just go immediately. Gone, and then maybe another one of these as well. Yeah, that's gone. That's gone. Now, what we're going to do is swap these out with this and what was it? 4, 5. Yeah, that'll do. Very nice. And we're going to do the same with the other. Oh, are we? Are we? Shanklin. So that's Droitwich Harrogate. This is Shanklin Harrogate, which manage vehicles. I think similar story. 13.00. Good grief on the zeros. Let's sell one of the zeros, and then let's swap these out with. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to have the same type of stock here. These, but we're going to have, how many do I have on the others? 5. We can just put 4 in for these ones. Yeah, there we are. Now, what have we got any knackered stock still hanging around? No, that's it. Everything should now be going faster, which is good. Oh, is there a benefit? People still asking about double heading. No. Right, that's all the suburban services, I think, helped as much as we can. That should reduce some costs. Let's see. I've got to do another. Wait a minute. I'm going to press Alt and M to make my pennies come back. Come back, pennies. We've got 11 minutes left to do. Right, okay. We're going to go on to what you've all been waiting for, let's face it. The express services. Now, let's look at the worst of these. The semi-fasts. Oof. Got all these lovely, so many lovely express services. Oh, it's glorious, I tell you. I'm gonna, so all the ones that go to, so Bradshaw, there we are. Oh. Didn't want to do that, did I? That was a stupid move. Express is what I want, let's just stick with that. So the GNR, let's go for all the Bradshaw ones. So these we've got Bradshaw. Let's pin that, lovely. We can shorten that a bit too. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So these are the, so Bradshaw Shanklin, these are the, this is the Western, yeah, these are the trains running, this is the, so this is their kind of the premier service, the Westerner. And what we're going to do, well, we're going to do magic, folks. We're going to do magic because we're putting an A4 onto it. And we're putting the maximum number of coaches we can within 160 because that boops the 160th. There we go. So it's 6 coaches. And look at these. Now look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, look at that. It's modernity embodied. Look at it. It's beautiful. Look at these wonderful streamlined express services. Marvellous. So, that's happening there. We're also, as rightly pointed out, we're going to swap out the coaches on the Southern as well, even though they're going to keep hold of their A3s. But we're going to go for, which is it? It's Shildon to Shanklin, which should be the Southern Flyer. So these two, we're now going to do the same on here, which is we're going to do this rather, which is and yeah, nice gold color, of course. 3, 5, 6. Modify those. Those will go that bit faster as well. So we've got this. We have a race on our hands. I tell you, a race. But that's not the end of the story because I need to kind of replace quite a lot of the GNER services. Oh, getting messaged by some good folks. I need to pay attention to that. What is it? 2151. Okay. Oh, I'm so pleased at that. So what other services do we want to expressify? I think probably the Bradshaw Lowestoft one is going to get expressified. So these, let's just swap them out entirely. So that's going to be one of those. And now do we want this to be a full length one? Because these, I don't think these get that full, frankly. So do we want these to maybe be like 4 coaches? Maybe. Let's see for now, right? The speed might encourage people on, but yeah, we'll see. I wonder what the rate is given the speed this train is going. Oh wait, there is the way to do this, which is for me to do this and then do charts. How many people a year? Not a huge number, let's face it. But okay, we've done that. Should I knock this off? Should I just delete one of these? Oh, I need to go over to. I'll tell you what. Let me get OBS up and let's go back here. So Express, and let's just look at the. Well, in fact, we've got all of them here. The ones that the biggest loss makers, according to this, smallest to largest. So all these GNER ones. In fact, it's all the GNER ones coming out of Bradshaw as well. Oh crikey! Look at this. People still aren't that interested in travelling on fast trains. I know, right? We're not going to get everything done tonight, but I'm at peace with having kind of shown you some of the things which I'm going to be doing. I'll do some of this admin off stream, but you're kind of getting a feel for it and some of the things that are happening. It's quite pleasing seeing these. In fact, let's. Here we go. Let's enjoy some of our hard-won express action. And I'll click on it so you can see the speed. It's a lot of red just happened. Let's not worry about that too much. There we are. There's the running gear doing its thing, looking interesting. Oh, look at that, 74, the fastest we've seen a train move on our map. 74 miles an hour. Oof. Look at this. It's glorious. I'm willing to sit here and enjoy this beautiful situation. Let's do a bit of an aerial view. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't it lovely? Oh. Oh. Obviously, we're going to have a timed competition between the a Westerner and a Southern Flyer from Oldwood Junction to through to Shanklin. There's our landslide. Don't worry too much about that. It's fine. There's our train slowing down to deal with some minor congestion. Actually, this station through definitely needs remodeling. It's a bit rubbish. I don't think it needs to be quite as weirdly laid out as it is. So what is this? This is a... So we obviously then need to cascade a load of our A3s down to the regional services that can speed up as well. So we should see quite a bit of change on our railway. So by the time you come back, I'll show you what I've done rather than doing it all. I'll show you what we've been up to. But yeah, 1935, this is going to be quite the year, folks. Quite the year. Yeah. Trains galore. Anyway, I think that's quite enough from me. You've had nearly 3 hours. Oh, I'm tired now. I'm gonna crack on with doing some of this stuff, but off stream. Some of you are like, just keep streaming. I was like, no, I'm gonna do some of this off stream. 3 hours is plenty enough, I think. I can do it quicker when I'm not having to talk and think, and I'm actually still knackered from my stabbing jabbing. I'd recommend everyone goes and gets your stabbing jabbing if you haven't already. I think 16, 17-year-olds, if you're a 16, 17-year-old watching this, go to the NHS website, plan your stabby jabby. It's worth it for reasons. Oh, look, what's that? Is that talking of the aerial view? There's Shanklin. Looks like there's some congestion on the approach into Shanklin Great Western. There's not too much about that. Yeah. I mean, trains are moving. Anyway, right. From me, from the Archipelago, from May 1935. Oh, actually, you know, let's just. Oh. And this hill, just this arbitrary hill that this nice little bit of forest that we've ended up in. Let's go back to. I mean, all the aircraft sound the same. Here we go, though. This is a nice Dakota doing its thing. Here we are. We're going to save. While this goes along, we're going to save. It's May 19... Oh. Keep doing that. I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that. I just need to do this. What is it? May 17th, in fact. 17th of May. But this time it's 1935. New toys. Because let's face it, that's exactly what's been happening. We've been playing with our new toys. We'll do 3 minutes of DC3. There we are. Oh, save. 1935, May. Let's save that. And then also fling it here. Get a little view. I'll sit here and watch this with you for a little bit. And then we'll end. Because this plane, this is now fast enough, we can really see quite a lot. It's quite an elegant aircraft, isn't it? Look at that. Pleasing. Southport over there. Save is finished. There is a freight train doing its thing down there. Nice little mineral goods train. Big in hill. A load of congestion on the Great Western Main Line. Oh, we're doing a loopy loop, so we can head towards. Where are we heading? Oh, we're heading to Miami. Yeah, of course we are. This is East Coast Airlines. This is your captain speaking, etc., etc. Welcome aboard this East Coast Airlines service to Biggin Hill. And there's Shanklin looking big, and you know there's this bit down here, this old junction, and the new bits growing out, and that mine being totally pointless there, and The centre of Shanklin looking fairly big, and it's expanding along the coast quite a bit, which is interesting actually seeing it do that. Yeah. There's the harbour. There's the islands over there. And the ship, yeah, ships approaching there. It's quite pleasing that there are ships in all directions. I do quite like that there are ships all around the coast. Because it'd be a bit weird for an island for there not to be ships all around the coast. There we are. There's Great Western. Is the throat working? The throat passes through that single... Oh, there's lights on the wingtips. It's exciting. This is, of course, a renaissance of... this is like the peak years for air travel. The 30s, it was glory and luxury unmatched since. Even though it was a bit loud. Trains are moving through. That is a bit of a bottleneck. It's definitely... Things just so there's less conflict, but it's still a bit of a bottleneck, this pinch at the north of Great Western. So we're at 60. I'm presuming this thing's going to accelerate like heck now that we're leveling out. What's that down there? Is that the express? Is that the 75-mile-an-hour express accelerating? I'm going to give it a run for a minute. Here we go. Oh, we're really pulling the numbers now. 90, 100, 100 miles an hour. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that does look like the express, doesn't it, down there? Everyone, thanks so much for watching. I enjoy this series so much. I know it's long. I've never done a big anthology gameplay series before, but whenever I was watching like people like Sips doing SimCity, mostly City Skylines actually, although it started with SimCity, whenever I was watching that, I just loved the progression and actually watching the way the city grew. And that's how I play my games. I'm obsessed with and love building in history and lore into the city because it makes it feel more real. It makes it have that... The fact that it's messy and imperfect. I don't just bulldoze huge swathes to just fix a thing. I let it get messy, whereas Sips would like... As the person I watched a lot of games would just like bulldoze a huge area, whereas I'd much prefer the messiness of dealing with the consequences of my bad planning actions. And to do a series like this myself is a bit weird. I mean, okay, I get about 10 people watching it at any given moment, so I'm not pulling big numbers here. But I enjoy it, and hopefully there's some P-way learning going on as well at the time, as we're learning about railways. And this, now that we're getting into a period of history I have a much better understanding of, we're probably going to cover quite a bit of like general planning history and general development history. It's going to move from being a bit of a random landscape builder to being a bit more of a Franklin episode, to be honest, because we're going to, but in the modern era, because we're going to see how a lot of policy changes develop, and also it'd be interesting to see how those policy decisions that I'll make, how they actually manifest in game, those historic policy decisions, how they actually look when they're played out in game. What's that over there? That railway line just on the coast. What is it? I can't quite tell what it is. Or it's just a road. It'll just be a road, presumably. We're at 206 miles an hour. Yeah. That's paint. No, that's not. What is that? That's Bridport, isn't it? Oh, crikey. Yeah, so. That'll be Dina arriving back just in time. There's Richmond. I'm going to stop when we land. That's so quick. Good grief. We're just aiming for the ground at this point, that's fine. There's Oldwood Junction, and the sort of grade separated junction. There's a train working its way through. There's Oldwood Junction with this new station building. It's quite grand. I mean, it's epic, isn't it? There's Morton Hill. Bradshaw the other side. Look at that. Actually, I lied about the first dual carriageway, because actually we developed that urban dual carriageway in the old boulevard in, or the avenue as it is, in between Bradshaw and Shildon. That was the first, really, but it doesn't really count. It's kind of just a big broad road. There's Kingston. Yeah, that really was quick. Good grief. The airlines, I mean, all of a sudden you realise how much the airlines wipe the floor with rail. Good grief. Although they still cost a lot more. I don't know to what extent cost has played into this. There's the old line going through. Where are we doing? Oh, we're pulling round to... What are we doing? Oh, I take it we're not holding pattern to come in and wait for the plane to land. The plane is coming to land. Maybe we'll come in and land after it. I don't know. There's an old road. Nothing using it. Little weavy country road. It's Kingston again. Oh, there's a nice suburban train, going a bit quicker than it was a year ago. Very nice. Wonder how much more popular this railway will be now it's moving that bit quicker. This is a busy airport, by the way. This is Minehead Aerodrome, but it's looking busy. Look, there's already loads of people picking up. Oh, there we are. We've landed. Well, there's a ship ahead making its way into... Very nice. There's aircraft galore, ships going around, trains, planes, and even over there, even the odd automobile. Folks, it's enough of me waffling on. You've got 5 minutes of bonus content. It's been a pleasure. I will see you all. No wave. I will see you. We're looking outside of the window now. Cheerio. Bye.